WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
And this report is brought to you by Primo Brands, the official water sponsor of MLB. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. And Major League Baseball is exactly where we will start. The Yankees did beat the Rays on Thursday 7-4, but the bigger story would be that of the trade deadline and the moves that were made. We know about the Yankees acquiring relievers Camilo Doval from the Giants, David Bednar from the Pirates. They also got themselves utility man Jose Caballero from the Rays during the game. They sent Oswald Peraza to the Angels. Brian Cashman did do a Zoom with the media, and while they did a lot, he was asked why not a starter.
We try to improve every aspect of the club, and this is, what we have to show for those efforts. We certainly knocked on many doors regarding potential starting pitching, but obviously we weren't able to match up in that category.
Yankees are 60-49, 3.5 games behind Toronto in the AL East. They are on the road in Miami tonight with Carlos Rodon making the start. The Mets on Thursday acquiring Cedric Mullins from the Orioles. Tonight, the Mets home for the Giants. David Peterson against Robbie Ray. Mets 15 games over 500 start today, a half game ahead of the Phillies in the NL East. And the Knicks and Mikal Bridges agree on a 4-year extension said to be worth $150 million. It is 66 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata on WFAN The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
The trade deadline has come and gone, and both the Mets and Yankees got better. I mean, they were fine. If you want to give them a grade, I'd probably give them both an A, but it's not exactly what I was looking for from each team, especially with the build-up yesterday from a Mets perspective. I thought there was going to be a little bit more. Can't go nuts. Yankees, I thought they should have done a little bit more, but again, can't go nuts because they added the bullpens. I think it was a good deadline that improved both ball clubs, but I don't think it was a home run as much as people are saying here.
I thought you'd be a little bit more excited. I'm pumped, man. I think New York baseball's on fire right now. Think about what we've dissected here, Sal. All the calls and all the debates and the conversations really for a couple of months now. What both teams needed, and I think both teams addressed their biggest need for sure, the bullpen, in big ways. Now, listen, I get it. There's still some variables here. From a Yankee perspective, Judge's health and Luis Gil's return and what he looks like for both teams, the back end of the starting pitching. And listen, if there's a critique there, Cashman could have landed one. He tried. Stearns could have landed one. He tried. But I look at these reinforcements that are massive upgrades and really plug in some holes that were threatening to destroy the seasons. And not only are they here, but neither team gave up any top prospect. I think they crushed it.
Well, right. That's the thing. So you're more concerned about not giving up top prospects than you are improving the ball clubs.
No, because I think you could do both. And I think both
they
teams.
Didn't.
Says who? What do you mean they didn't get?
Well, they
what?
Both teams got better.
Yes.
Okay. But did they go all in? Did they do enough?
Well,
the Yankees didn't get that starter that they wanted. You could say, well, they tried. Well, trying, since when is trying good enough? Well, they tried. Maybe the Mets tried to get Robert, but ended up with Mullins. It's an upgrade. It's nice. I'm not going to go nuts and knock each team because they were aggressive. They made the moves they did the bare minimum. The Mets needed a center fielder. They got one. The Yankees needed a third baseman. They got one. Both teams needed to revamp their bullpens. They did. That, to me, is the bare minimum. Neither team went over the top to make me feel super excited about the rest of the way.
Yeah, I didn't need either team to go over the top because both teams were good. Both teams were flawed, and both teams were presenting, Yankees certainly more recently, issues that, again, were threatening to just destroy the season. I love what they did. The Yankees brought in 7 guys. So, listen, the starting pitching, I understand. Now, from the Mets perspective, Manaea has got to stay healthy. Senga's got to get his act together. I love Peterson. From the Yankees' perspective, Rodon, you can't fully trust him. Fried's got to remain the bulldog that he's been. And obviously you want to see he'll come back. But, you see, we can fixate on the starting pitching, and I'm not saying that I totally disagree. If both teams would have gotten a back-end starter, then I think we're looking at A+. I'm not quite handing out A+. I'm handing out A's and A-, but I think there's also different ways to try to win. There's the conventional way where you give the baseball to a starter, and he goes, 5 or 6, which is nice. You'd love to see it. But then there's the other way where you piece it together, and you can't piece it together if you don't have any arms back there that could get the job done. So I look at what the Mets have now, I would have maybe liked another lefty, maybe somebody, Tim Hill's a soft tosser, maybe get somebody throwing cheese. Now, the Mets went that route with Soto. Again, not perfect, but this is about bridging innings and piecing games together. And you've got 2 months to make sure you win enough games you get to the postseason. And I think that at this point, both teams will. And I wasn't so sure about the Yankees a few weeks ago. But the real key is when you get to October, your stars got to play well. And that means Judge, and that means Pete, and that means Lindor, and that means Soto. And you've got to make the right moves in coming out and maximizing the arms for the matchups. Yeah. And I think that they could both. I think that they both have a chance to do it.
Well, they do. They both got better, and they both still have a chance to go out there and get to a World Series and win a World Series. All I'm saying is, and I didn't even say starting pitching. You keep saying starting pitching. I know others have said that. I didn't say that. I never said that the Yankees didn't. For me, the move that I wanted the Yankees to make. Yep. I wanted them to go get Kwan. Yep. Now, he didn't get traded. Now, you know why he didn't get traded? Because nobody was willing to give up what it would have taken to get him, because he is a valuable player. I don't even know if the Yankees were interested. I do know the Padres were interested, and the asking price was the kid that the Padres sent to the A's for Mason Miller.
Yeah, the third prospect in all of baseball.
Right, that's what the Guardians wanted for Kwan. So if I'm the Yankees, like if I'm sitting here today saying, wow, Cashman hit it out of the park, he crushed it, David Stearns, King Cohen operating like big boys, I would have needed to see a little bit more, specifically from my perspective with the Yankees, Kwan, and with the Mets. I don't even know if there's a specific player. Lau was the one that I talked about once he got brought up, but then I heard he wasn't too thrilled about maybe being taxed, what it would have taken if he comes to New York. So I don't know about that. I didn't really care about a depth starter. Okay, whatever. But it would have been, hey, if they got a depth starter and maybe a little bit more than, let's say the Mets got Robert and a depth starter, then I could sit here. Remember yesterday we were saying I wanted to be full from Thanksgiving. I'm like, I had a good meal. I had a strong, healthy, good meal. I'm not overly full from either team. It's not knocking the teams. They did fine. The Yankees did a great job rebuilding the bullpen. Mets did the same thing. They didn't go over the top. And I do think a big part of that is the reluctance to give up some of the prospects. If it were me, and by the way, BT, I don't even know if Jones and Schlittler or Dominguez, whatever, one of the two out of those three would have gotten Kwan. I don't know that. But I do know that the Yankees most likely weren't willing to do that, and that's where I take issue with that. And as for the Mets, they didn't clean up their gluttony of infielders either with, Vientos, Beatty, Acuna, and so on.
Yeah, but I also, like, from the Mets' perspective, for all those guys, and there's a glut, and we've talked about this a lot, you can't have all these guys on the roster for the next couple of years. And eventually there's going to be a battle of attrition, and either Mauricio or Beatty or Acuna is going to elevate themselves, and I would probably bet on Mauricio more at this point, to a point where they are viewed not as untouchable, but certainly a real piece of the Mets puzzle moving forward. And that's when you react, and that's when you move the other players. Like, think about this, Sal. We were watching Tyrone Taylor, who has an OP, and he's a good fielder, I get it, but he was miscast, and he was just in the wrong role. And you put McNeil out there, all right, he did a pretty good job for a middle infielder, I respect it, but he doesn't have the speed, and then you throw the Nimmo combination, just talking about defensively. To me, that was untenable. Like, I don't think you can win a World Series. Well, I mean, maybe you get a little lucky, whatever, but I would rather not take my chances with two guys who are, either average or below average in multiple facets of defense. So the glaring hole for the Mets was center field and the bullpen. Bullpen addressed, center field. Now, hey, Cedric Mullins, what do you think he hit, 7th?
Yeah, I like him. No, I like it. It's a solid move. All I'm saying is neither team went over the top. It could have been either the Mets or Yankees for Alcantara. And again, I'm not saying that I would have done that, but if they did, then it's impossible to come in here and not be thrilled or beyond excited. They didn't. Neither team went over the top for whatever piece you thought or I thought or anybody else thought that they would have needed. Yankees were trying for another starter, didn't land one. The Mets would have liked to probably add a depth starter, didn't get one. I bet the Mets would have liked more than Cedric Mullins. They're happy with him, but they didn't end up getting, whether it's Robert or whatever else, the concoction would have been. That's all that I'm saying. It's been, look, Yankees did a great job last minute rebuilding the bullpen. And by the way, I love the addition of Caballero as well. You get some speed and a depth piece. Like, certainly he's an upgrade over Peraza. So both teams got better. They filled needs. They got better. But I think they also did the bare minimum. Imagine if the Yankees didn't build the bullpen the way that they did.
Oh, well, the season will be over.
Okay, and imagine if the Mets didn't get a center fielder or didn't add multiple bullpen arms.
Not good enough.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they did. But I
got you.
I do feel like I don't think that Cashman or Stearns went over the top and killed it. I think it was a solid, you take it every time. You take solid A or whatever you want to grade it, A-. I'd probably give them both A's, but I wanted A pluses.
I listen, I'm good with being greedy. I get it. And the thing about this stuff, too, there's not always a Cespedes to get. So that's the other thing here. When we're talking about that power move, that massive flex, that all-in, all the verbiage we attach to what we want our GMs to do, and it applies to all the teams in our city. Like outside of Mason Miller, and I might now you and I vary in terms of how we view prospects. To me, to give up the third-rated prospect in all of baseball for a closer is the height of stupidity. But that's just how I view baseball. That's just me.
I'm more with you. By the way, I'm more with you on that. Now, it's not just a closer. It's one of the best, and you have him under control.
Understood.
But still, I'm with you. If I'm going to invest the third best prospect in all baseball, I'm either getting the most legit bat or I'm getting the best starting pitcher on the market.
I'm sorry. There's no doubt about it, dude. Like, if we're sitting here, that's why I referenced Cespedes. Now, I don't know that any Met fan, while everybody was pumped and we all knew what he was with the A's, and he was certainly just an explosive addition, I don't know that anybody could really see quite what he did coming. Maybe 70% of that. I mean, that was a grand slam. When the Yankees got David Justice in 2000, who won the ALCS MVP. I mean, that wound up being a grand slam. Cecil Fielder, lesser extent, but in 96, a big power move. I think, Sal, for me, it's more applicable. Like and I know you're not necessarily criticizing Stearns and Cashman. You're just not all in, which I get. But if there was somebody else traded, like say if the Cubs traded Kyle Tucker because they didn't think that they could sign him, and we're sitting here today saying, what the hell? Why were the Yankees and the Mets not in on Kyle? That's a different conversation.
Right, but BT, there were two guys in Quan and Alcantara that could have been different makers, and not to mention Mason Miller. Like you said, I wouldn't have given him up, but he did get traded. The Padres did get him. Padres aren't just competing with the Mets or the Dodgers. They're competing with the Yankees as well. Like other teams, specifically the Padres, they went nuts. Now, does that mean they're going to win the World Series? No, they went nuts last year, but I respect it, and I thought the Mets were going to be even splashier. It was great. It's not a knock. An A is a very good grade. I thought it was going to be over the top, even better. I'm not surprised with the Yankees, but I'm mildly disappointed that when a guy like just for me, Quan being available, and he was available. Like, that's the point. He didn't get traded, but he was available. I don't know if they were interested. They certainly wouldn't have given up what it would have taken, even if they had that. I'm just saying, when guys like that are available, to me, to get the A+ or to be really excited to go over the top, that's where I and not knocking them. But
I hear you, dude.
Yeah.
Now let's get back to Quan for a sec, because you and I, we had a good debate the other day. We disagreed on exactly who he is, and of course we both like him. You like him more than me, and I listen. If you wanted like Dominguez, sure, I had my limits with him, but don't you think it says something that nobody else in baseball? Nobody, because you're right. He was available. The Guardians were dangling him for weeks so that nobody else jumped in and said, okay, I'll give you my third best prospect, I'll give you my fifth best prospect, and I'll give you somebody who's been in the show for a year that has some upside, or maybe even more. Don't you think that says a lot about Quan? To me,
No.
that's not but Sal, to me.
No, I don't. I think it says a lot about the market and how teams hoard these prospects now. And also more specifically as it pertains to the Padres, because they did give up the player. They felt that they'd rather give him the player up, the third best prospect, for a bullpen arm. That was their decision. From a Yankees perspective, again, I don't know what Cleveland would have wanted from the Yankees. BT, by the way, maybe they didn't want anything. Maybe they look at Spencer Jones and say, I don't want him. I wanted the third best overall prospect in baseball. I don't want Spencer Jones, or I don't want Dominguez, or I don't want Schlittler. I'm sure that I would assume that some combo might have at least gotten you at the table, but who's to say that the Guardians even wanted that? All I'm saying is Quan, to me, was a perfect fit for the Yanks. It may not have been realistic. What was realistic was that Cashman was trying to get a starter. So if he were trying to get a starter and didn't end up pulling the trigger for whatever reason, then how can I sit here and say that he crushed it or that you give him an A+?
Well, okay, think about this. So let's now bounce from Quan to Alcantara.
Yeah.
So listen, I mean, his stuff is phenomenal, but you were the one, and I didn't even think it was quite this high. You were the one the other day. He's like, he's got a 6.5 ERA.
Right.
So how are
I
we
would not have gone all in for him, but you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, if we're going to, and again, we're both giving him again, you can't get higher than an A, but if we're going to, nitpick or, hey, just 90% or you're on the 4-yard line rather than punching it in. Is that really fair for a guy whose ERA is almost 7?
No, I wouldn't have done that. And it could have been another starter anyway. I would not have gone all in.
You want Zach Allen?
Nah, I mean, whatever, a depth piece. Again, I give the Yankees and Mets both credit. They did a good job here. I just got to bring a little dose of reality here. It's like everybody's going nuts about things. By the way,
yes,
I have learned that the Yankees did try for Quan. Price was too high. That makes me at least feel a little bit better that they were in at least the mix. That was not reported, or at least I didn't see it anywhere. But they did at least try for Quan and were told that or they felt that the price was too high, which is fair enough. At least now, but CBT, that to me even like, what's the price? Like, you could have gotten this player that could have been a difference maker. At least they were in on him, which makes me feel better. But the price is too high, whether it's for Stearns not willing to give up certain prospects or top-end guys, or the Yankees not being willing to give up top-end guys. Or other teams, same thing. Like, there's a balance. Teams have been threading the needle as opposed to going all in. I respect what the Padres did more so than what Brian Cashman and David Stearns did.
Well, yeah, I mean, they also haven't won. I mean, so if you're a Padres fan, well, it was, again, 98 against the Yankees, 84 against the Tigers. Yeah, I guess if I'm running the show out there in San Diego, I'm gonna say, all right, third overall, whatever. I mean, I got Manny, I got Tatis, I got all these studs. I gotta take my massive swing now. I really do think, though, when you look at what, and this is part of the evaluation for certainly for me, when you look at what Stearns and Cashman gave up, like, we could be sitting here and my tone could be totally different. Now, it would be different from yours, but if the Yankees got Quan and they gave up Spencer Jones and Schlittler to do it, I would have destroyed them.
And I would have loved it. And then
I get it. I would have destroyed them.
Yeah, and then, well, that's maybe why we feel different. And then we could have seen what would have happened there. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you and I just differ where I'm not looking to give away young players under control. I understand the business to it. I understand the intelligence behind it, the value of keeping a young player under control. I get that. I also am somebody who values going for it now, not half-weighing it. And I think both teams were aggressive enough to get A's or whatever you want to say it as far as the grades go. I don't think either team went over the top all in. And it could be whatever you want. Me, Quan, somebody else starter, Mets back end, Mets Luis Robert. Like the Mets ended up on Mullins because maybe they didn't want to part with, let's say, I don't know, either pick a guy, Beatty or Vientos or whatever, the combination of Acuna and Beatty or Vientos for Robert. Now, you could argue whether it was right or wrong, but clearly Mullins was the secondary option in center field. So there is a level of settling for that or valuing, saying we'd rather give up nothing for Mullins than give up Beatty and Acuna, let's just say, hypothetically, for Robert. And I don't know if I agree with that. I'd rather the big, sexy splash go all in and give up guys. Doesn't mean it's right. It's just, for me, that's why I would not give them the over-the-top A-plus grade.
Yeah, the other thing, too, the players and the Mets did not do this, but the players the Yankees got, and this is something Cashman sometimes does too much, but everybody they got has control. I mean, McMahon's got 2+ years. Rosario's a rental, obviously. You got Bednar for another plus year. You got Duvall for 2+. You got. I'm not incredibly high on Jake Bird. His numbers actually are better in Colorado. It's weird.
But he's got nasty stuff.
He does. No, he does.
Was saying that yesterday.
No, he does. He's filthy. He's got 3+ years, and even Caballero, he's got 3 or 4+ years. So again, I think that the holes for the Yankees were more apparent than the Mets. Now, I've been saying, Mets, you got to get a bat. Now, and I've said that for a month. I didn't necessarily think that Mullins profiled to be that guy, but I'll tell you what, when I combine that with the other moves, I like it, because if you have Cedric Mullins batting 7th, he can run, he can field, he can drop down a bunt, he's an athlete. And by the way, he's been in some big games. Luis Robert has not, so I attach a little value to that. And then 2 weeks ago, we're looking at who the hell's playing third base? Is it Vivas? Is it Peraza, who's never going to hit? He could play baseball for 30 years, never going to hit. So the Yankees got a third baseman. They do have at least a little insurance, and this has been the primary baseball story, aside from the deadline on our show, really for a couple of, and maybe the station, Volpe's, whatever, at shortstop. At least now you've got, whether it's Rosario, whether it's Caballero, whether it's a pinch run, whether it's a pinch hit against a lefty, more so for Rosario, at least there's some options. But here's the deal. And I do appreciate I'm not going to say optionality, but I do appreciate the options. Here's the bottom line. We'll do most of this show on what these teams did and what they could become and can they win the World Series. We'll get to that eventually. But if Judge doesn't hit, if Fried isn't a Bulldog, if Soto's leg is not right, if Lindor doesn't wake up, if Pete doesn't wake up, if Devin Williams doesn't clean it up at the back, like there's other questions that could really sabotage the season. But for me, for both teams, I love the answers.
BT and Sal on the Fan. We'll get to your calls when we come back. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Talk Yankees trades, Mets stats, Giants defense, and Jets prospects. All in one place. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
FanDuel, because nothing says summer like adding excitement to the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Summer sports are calling your name. Baseball under the stadium lights, golf on pristine green fairways, soccer matches with world-class goals, and all the action-packed moments in between. You're going to spend all day following your favorite sports on your phone anyway, so you may as well make it more thrilling with FanDuel. Open the app today and see the daily promotions. If you're new, well, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 back in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/BT to get started. We love the app around here. Safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid right away. FanDuel, official partner of WFAN. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And for help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
The Rico Brogna podcast is proudly sponsored by Takara Fuji Apple Chew High, the sparkling cocktail that blends shochu spirits with delicious flavors of fruits from Japan. Whether it's Citi Field or your favorite spot, raise the apple.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Before you begin your road trip, ask yourself, do you really need 5 full suitcases? With the new 2026 Kia Sportage X-Pro's class-leading cargo space, you'll have room for what you need. Find out more at your local Kia dealer today. Keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely and obey all traffic laws. Comparisons based on second row legroom and cargo space behind second row seats in the subcompact SUV class according to Kia segmentation as of June 2025.
We've got more sports talk coming up on The Fan.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together, we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Recovering from an addiction is an individual accomplishment. A young mother who chose recovery to care for her family. A high school athlete overcoming opioid addiction. A couple celebrating his recovery. Everyone's recovery is different, and there's no shame in asking for help. Call 844-REACH-NJ. Trained counselors are available 24/7 to help you find the recovery option that's best for you. Tell us your story, and let's begin your recovery today.
Route 22 Toyota is serving up hot off the grill savings. Flip your current car into a new Toyota with incredible zero-down leases on the area's largest selection of new Toyota models. And for those on a diet, Route 22 Toyota has all the makes and models of budget-friendly used cars starting under $10,000. Plus, everyone drives this summer with their goal of 100% credit approval. So get them while they're hot. Hot off the grill savings, that is, at Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey. Offers for qualified buyers with primary lender approval. See dealer for details.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
I've been really trying, baby.
What's this about, Hoff?
Oh, man.
I don't understand it. Am I missing something? Let's get it on what? The rest of the season? What?
Yeah, let's go. Let's move it. Trade deadline's over. Let's go. 2 months to go. Playoffs, baby.
I don't know. All right, BT and Sal back on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Let's get some of these calls in here, BT.
Yeah.
Yanks, Mets, trade deadline, come and gone. Both teams added. Both teams unquestionably made their teams better and are now locked and loaded to go take a run at that World Series. Let's see what you guys think. Teddy is in Whitestone starting us off. What's up, Teddy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
What's up, Ted?
So, I got a little beef with both you guys.
Go ahead.
Sal,
Yeah.
the Mets did not give up the 3 pitching guys because they're going to be great. Jed Williams, they didn't give up. They're going to be great. That's why they didn't get none of these players that you wanted, the Millers, the Roberts, the Kwans, this and that. That was the asking price for that.
How do you know, Teddy? Because I'll just take a stab at it and say, I know more about what the asking price was than you do. Where are you getting your information from? I'd love to find that out.
Sal, I've been a Met fan for the longest time. You
Congratulations,
know?
but I actually talked to people who were involved in these talks, so I'm just curious, how do you know that's the asking price?
I don't know.
Okay,
in the court of law, I don't know.
Right,
You're
well,
right.
it's not the
I
court
don't
of
know.
law. I'm talking about in reality. But aside from the point, I never said that the Mets had to give up those guys. And just to further the point, BT, Teddy starts not by saying that he's thrilled at what the Mets or Yankees got, but more so what they kept. And that's my point. I'm not concerned about what they kept. I understand the importance of it. I'm talking about what they got, not what they kept.
Yeah, I mean, you might be in 2 years if some of those guys are all-stars. Listen, it's a different philosophy. I get it. And I didn't want to give up Jones. I mean, I would have given up Dominguez. You know where I stand on Lombard. And I've had that opinion in the past, and I've kind of remained married to that. And more times than not, it's burned me. Now, I feel like these guys, maybe not Dominguez as much, but they're a little different. So I'm a little more willing to hold on to them. But I wouldn't be as willing, and I wouldn't be as gracious or as complimentary on what Cashman did if I didn't think that he crushed it. Like, that's independent of who they retained. I just love who he brought in.
Right. Who would you have? What would be the number one thing? If you could have had one more move for the Yankees, what would it have been?
I would probably say a back-of-the-rotation starter, which he tried to do.
Okay, and you're not going to give up money much to get that anyway.
No.
So that's fair. I'm saying if you said like Alcantara, and I said, well, they could have gotten Alcantara for Dominguez, would you have done that?
I would. I'd like to know why his ERA is 6.5. Like, I'd have to really dive into some stuff, and I'm not a scout. Like, but they would have the answer. I would be open to it.
Or Kwan, you've already said you would have given up.
Yeah, for Kwan, yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, if I were to tell you the Mets, and instead of Teddy just saying, well, that's why they didn't get Robert, is because they didn't want to give up any of their top pitching prospects or Jet Williams. Those guys were never on the table for Luis Robert. Correct. If I were to tell you, BT, that the Mets didn't get Robert because they didn't want to part with Brett Beatty, what would you say?
Beatty, I would say that they probably should have made that trade because they believe in Mauricio more.
Okay. And I mean, I think that's more in line. I don't know that. I'm just throwing it out there.
I think you're right.
I think that's more in line of why the Mets maybe didn't get Robert. Now, again, I don't know the details. I'm not a reporter. Obviously, I hear some things, whatever. I'm going to use that, like I just said before. I wanted to make sure I checked in. Before I ripped the Yankees blindly for not inquiring about Quan, I wanted to make sure, if I could, that they did try to get him. And I was told that they did. The price was too high. Now I could say, well, I don't know what the exact price was, but I have an issue that maybe they, like for me, I would have given up 2 out of those top 3. And I don't even know if that, maybe Cleveland wanted more. Maybe they wanted Jones and Dominguez and Schlittler. And then I could understand saying no. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm satisfied that at least the Yankees tried. But again, the price is too rich. Same thing. They tried to get a starter, probably Alcantara. Those things were reported. Their talks with the Marlins. But maybe the price was too rich. So I don't like hearing the price is too rich if you're trying to win it all now, whether it's Stearns or Cashman. That's all. That's all.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm usually with you. I just don't think anybody was out there, and there's no guarantee. It's not basketball. You get a star. Okay, we're going to win.
Right.
You know, a guy could come here and hit 212 for a couple of months and hit 190 in the postseason. Like, you don't know. I'm not saying it's not a risk worth taking, like a Cespedes, like a Justice, like a Prince, like a Cecil Fielder.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anybody out there. Like, the closest really was Quan. The closest, because not only is he good, but he fits a need for the Yankees.
And he's under control. Yeah. And that's why I went nuts about that. That's the perfect fit to me. How realistic? I mean, if he's available, it's got to be realistic. So that's my issue there. Alcantara, well, you and I had this debate. The Mets could have used to me, the Mets needed a top-end starter more than the Yankees, and I would not have gone all in for Alcantara because he's not that guaranteed thing. We had this argument. I was saying he's got a 6 ERA, dude. Like, that's not Verlander or Scherzer at their peak or whoever. Pick a guy. Sabathia or Randy Johnson. Pick a trade deadline guy. You know, the pure ace that's about to hit free agency. That's not what Alcantara is. Now he's under control, so there's more value there, but I would not have gone all in. So, yeah, I do understand that there weren't those perfect fits. Quan, to me, with the Yankees would have been one. Anthony's in Bridgewater, New Jersey. What's up, Ant?
What's up, boys? Thanks for taking my call. Nice job this past week with the trade stuff. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Nice.
Listen, if you were to ask me 2 days ago, I would have said I love this trade deadline for the Mets. The problem was the other day was so good. Yesterday was like I was waiting for like the knockout punch. And the knockout punch didn't happen. And that's kind of where I was disappointed. You know, Thursday, Wednesday, we're getting reports of, they got the closer, they got the 8th inning guy, they got the 7th inning guy. And yesterday I was waiting for the one more piece. This is the one more piece. You guys aren't mentioning it, and maybe I'm dead wrong on this. There was a Cespedes available, and it was a DH. It was Suarez. And if you see what Suarez went for, he went for the 10th guy in the Mariners farm system.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, I mean, to me, that's the Cespedes. He had 85 RBIs, 30 home runs. I mean, if you're looking for a DH guy that can come there and hit a pop, I mean, that was the guy. And it really didn't cost – I mean, what would that have cost them? Their 10th or 11th prospect and another throw-in guy? Like, to me, that was the guy – or Alcantara was the guy to throw them over the top to make this a memorable trade deadline to get them to where they say they want to be in the World Series.
Yeah, but hold on a second. Hold 1 sec. But so you're saying it's the move now, maybe Suarez more than Alcantara. And by the way, Alcantara, if he was with the Yanks or the Mets and he gets, 10, 11 starts, he could have had a 2.50 ERA and been sick. Of course, that's possible. But you're calling us up saying he would have put him over the top. His ERA, he had one more bad outing at 7. What are you talking about?
Well, at least he would have had the potential there. And by the way, you know how I feel about him. But if they got him, I would have been excited saying, okay, they went all in. They took a shot. Even Suarez, I didn't necessarily want him for either side. I didn't think the Yankees needed him. But if the Mets added that type of bat, now, again, where does he fit? They have Mauricio. They have a gluttony at third baseman. But if they brought him in and they thought that they could make it work and have him DH the majority of the time, like that's over the top. A move that maybe we weren't just talking about or maybe we didn't hear about. Lau, for me, was the one that I did hear about that got me excited. He's a legitimate bat. You could add him DH, play a little second. Maybe you move, Jeff McNeil, or maybe you move Vientos, whatever it may be. That's where I like what Anthony said as far as the knockout punch. The Mets lined themselves up perfectly. First it was Soto, then they got Rogers and Helsley. They lined themselves up perfectly for a knockout punch, and I don't think that they had that yesterday. And as for the Yankees, they did maybe more than we expected, really loading up the bullpen. We were talking about Bednar being one, but then adding Bird and Duvall, and on top of that, Caballero being the backup infielder or whatever, utility player with some speed. So I love that, but was it the knockout punch over the top, sexy, holy crap, they got Quan, or holy crap, they went all in and took a chance on Alcantara? No.
I mean, from a name perspective, no, but that doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to finish. And, conversely, you could have gotten, Quan, and he struggled. So, I mean, you really don't. I get it. We've got to give the opinions today.
But these guys in the bullpen could suck, too, for either team.
I totally agree. But here's the one thing, and the Mets didn't have to worry about this. I think it made Cashman's job a little tougher. Because Diaz is your guy. Right. He's your guy. I mean, if Devin Williams melts down a few more times, guess what? Devin Williams ain't closing. I don't care what Aaron Boone said yesterday. If he has another, not one bad outing in a row, but if he really does scuffle, well, now you got Bednar coming and throwing cheese. Now you got Camilo Doval coming and throwing cheese. So, the problem too much with both of these teams, now I'll incorporate the Mets again, is that there were just not enough swing and miss arms. And, hey, if there's one thing that we know, now you still got to catch the baseball, still got to run the bases with integrity, blah, blah, blah. Your stores still have to be good. But if you can't throw the baseball by people, 2 on, 1 out, bases loaded, 1 out, bases loaded, none out, get a strikeout, get a double play, then you are not winning anything. And almost all of these arms, starting with Soto from the left side a couple of days ago for the Mets, they are coming out and they are throwing absolute gas.
Absolutely needed those guys, both teams, Mets and Yankees, and they got them. Now, did it put them over the top? Do we feel better about them as far as the landscape of the entire league? We can get into that when we come back. BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019.
All right. Hey, Sal, taking a Cadillac, as you know, is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. It is the smooth excitement of an all-electric Lyric. Sal had that for a couple of weeks. He loved it. Hope we get him back in it. The exhilarating thrill of pushing the limits in a Cadillac Optic. I saw the Optic on the road the other day. Looking pretty sweet. The liberating freedom in the expansive XT6. That's what I have. Or the confidence if you want to take over the highway and tell everybody to move. That, of course, is the Escalade or the Escalade IQ.
Yeah, that's the one that I want. My wife loves that one, too. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate every journey. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. BT and Sal on the Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
It's Evan and Tiki. Afternoons on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
See, I think in the Met case, your number gets to 3, maybe 4. Sean Manaea, yes. Clearly, right?
Yes.
Kodai Senga, yes. David Peterson, yes.
100%.
So I think the Mets have a firm 3.
And your swing is Clay?
Clay and Montas.
Right.
I think both of those guys, based on the way they pitch.
And by the way, you're in a good spot.
Listen to Evan and Tiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Tomorrow night, the Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds will meet in the first Major League game ever played in the state of Tennessee. The Speedway MLB Classic has already set an all-time attendance record with more than 85,000 seats sold to fans in all 50 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, and 9 countries on 4 continents. Novelty events continue to be all the rage these days in professional sports. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone
see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And I mean absolutely nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
The More to Move You summer sales event is on at Open Road Mazda of Morristown and Open Road Mazda of East Brunswick. Don't miss exceptional offers on our most popular models. The versatile 2025 Mazda CX-5 is just $229 per month for 33 months. Or lease the rugged 2025 Mazda CX-50, now only $239 per month for 33 months. There's more to move you at Open Road Mazda of Morristown and Open Road Mazda of East Brunswick. Click, shop, we deliver. OpenRoadMazda.com. Must finance through Mazda Financial Services. See dealer for complete details.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
All right. Ba-da-da. Time for the Wendy's Yankees turning point of the game contest. Of course, BT and Sal on the Fan. Back to these calls in a minute. Wendy's, the official hamburger of the Yankees, the retooled Yankees. First one to correctly identify yesterday's wet win. Give us a call at 866-540-WFAN. That's 866-540-9326. And you'll receive 2 pairs of tickets to a 2025 Yankees regular season game. It's all from your flagship station for Yankees baseball on the Fan. So, Sal, and you mentioned this before we went to the break, we'll definitely get into the bigger picture. You know, how do we view these teams in terms of World Series viability now that everything's done? That's going to be done. But before we do that, I got to say this about Volpe, too, because we had a good discussion yesterday. So at the very least, and there's been a lot of different opinions. You would have sent them down. I would not have. I would bench him. They elected not to do that. So the Yankees didn't listen to either one of us. But at the very least, and this has not really been talked about a lot, at least a message was sent to Anthony Volpe. Yo, start catching the ball and get your act together. Otherwise, we just brought in 2 guys that we could put out there, which I like.
But I do think, didn't Cashman address it by saying Caballero is not insurance for Volpe?
Well, he said that. Okay. I don't believe him, though. I don't believe him. He did say that. I don't believe him.
Well, we needed a backup shortstop at the very least. And by the way, before we get back to the calls here, sticking with the Yankees, John Heyman reported a couple of minutes ago on social media, Yanks declined to give up either Spencer Jones or George Lombard Jr. for Sandy Alcantara.
100%. Thank God. That's a no-brainer. Good for the Yankees.
I don't know if it's a no-brainer to me as far as Spencer Jones goes.
I love it.
But it's the same guy. See, this is what I mean. Like now again, I don't love Alcantara, and I wouldn't have given up a big time player for Alcantara right now because I don't think it's the biggest need for the Yankees. But it's again the reluctance to give up these guys who they kicked to the curb a few months ago. So they wouldn't trade Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns a year ago. Then they were down on him, and now they won't involve him in a trade for Alcantara. Well, how do you even have the goal to have a conversation with the Marlins about a pitcher who has the potential to be good, who's under control for 2 more years without Spencer Jones? Now, I'm with you. I wouldn't give up Lombard for anybody, right? That would have been my one untouchable. For the Mets, it would have been Mauricio. For the Yankees, it would have been Lombard Jr. Those guys, just for whatever reason, my gut is that based on what I've seen with Mauricio and what I feel and hear and see about with Lombard. But Spencer Jones? You're not willing to give up Spencer Jones. You're not going to get one of the big-time guys. End of story.
Well, but I don't think Alcantara at this point is one of the big-time guys. Number one, he was on a surgical table with his elbow getting split open a couple of years ago, so he's already had Tommy John, and he sucks this year. We're not talking about great.
Yesterday, BT, you were saying you'd go all in for him.
No, Sal. For Dominguez,
right, okay.
I said I would not trade Jones.
But if you think he sucks, why are you giving up Dominguez for him? So it's not about Alcantara not being great. We all know what his ERA is this year. You're not trading for an ERA, a pitcher with an ERA of 6. You're trading for a guy with the high upside, what he's done before, hoping he's healthier, and by the way, he's under control. So you're telling me that you'd give up Dominguez, but not Spencer Jones. Okay, fair enough. I'm telling you, if the Marlins wanted Spencer Jones and you really wanted the pitcher, now we're going to let Spencer Jones hold things up? Like, the Yankees now are back on the Spencer Jones bandwagon. You were saying it they were done on Spencer Jones.
I was only saying it because I heard from the Yankees. I've told you that. You know that.
But that's what I'm saying.
But it doesn't mean that they were right. Because they're usually wrong with this stuff.
And now it doesn't mean that they're right for being high on him again or not wanting to give him up.
I get you on that. I hear you, but at least it's a little more justifiable when a guy who is 6'7", 240 pounds, and in 70 games has 29 home runs and an 1,100 OPS with a rocket for an arm.
Yeah, I'd love to see him up here then. Going to hold on to him. He's ready to go. What is he? He's not 19. I mean, what's the holdup then? If Spencer Jones is so big and bad, and the knock that you said you heard on him was that they were worried that he wasn't going to hit Major League pitching, well, he still hasn't hit Major League pitching because we haven't seen him up here. So until I see big, bad Spencer Jones actually come up to the big leagues and produce, much like I saw big, bad Anthony Volpe, who was supposed to be a star, much like I've seen Jason Dominguez, the light tower power, much like I've seen from him. So that's the same thing. Like, I see it. Hey, maybe he is going to be out there and be the next Aaron Judge. Maybe. But,
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you had, let's say, who's the Mets' best prospect right now? Is it Gilbert's gone?
Probably Jet Williams.
Okay, yeah, Jet. Now he's a different. He's basically the exact. It's more like
one of the pitchers, but yeah.
Forget. I'm from a positional perspective. So if he was at the numbers and the profile that Jones is, would you give him up for Alcantara?
Oh, I don't want Alcantara. So
well, neither do I.
But I wasn't trying to get him. No.
I'm saying for Jones, I don't want him. I want him at my price.
The Yankees want this guy. They want that guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, Spencer Jones is not their top prospect. Is it Lombard or Spencer Jones? Like, which one are we talking about?
Well, first of all, the fact that he's not their top prospect speaks volumes about their top prospect.
If there were a move that I thought the Mets could make that could be a difference maker, I'd absolutely give up the top prospects. Like, that's been my philosophy forever.
I know it has,
right.
Sal. I get
so
that.
So it has nothing to do with Jet Williams or whoever else. The guy said I wouldn't give up right now is Mauricio, and that's because I've seen what he could do at the big league level, and I like his potential. But does that mean if there was a deal out there that I thought was going to be a difference maker, would I go out there and give him up? If they were holding me hostage for Mauricio, I'd have to strongly consider it. I need to know what's going on. But the Yankees, it's not just, first it was can't give up Volpe, then it's can't give up the Martian, then it's can't give up Spencer Jones, and it's can't give up Lombard. Which one is it? So you're not going to give up anybody. Well, then how are you going to get anybody?
No, you give up somebody for the right guy.
Right.
And that right guy wasn't available.
Right, there is never the right guy.
No, there could be. You just have to, he's got to be available.
Yeah.
You can't stick a gun in somebody's mouth and say, trade him. Trade me this guy. Like the other team's got to be willing to part. Listen,
they could have gotten Luis Castillo years ago when the Yankees.
I get it. And years ago, I know years ago, understood. See, to me, there's the concept of how you view prospects, And then there's actually a prospect who is, at least now and on paper and stats, just a little different than a big dude. He's 6'7". 6'7".
BT, I don't care if he's 5'1". That does nothing for me. He's 6'7", so what?
I got you. This is just the difference with how we look at them. If he was hitting...
The Yankees have looked at him different ways in the last year. First he's untouchable, then he's a boss, now he's untouchable again.
And you know what? Maybe he proved them wrong. And
by hitting in the minor leagues.
Well, I mean, you can only hit where you're playing.
Right. Understood. So he's a minor leaguer.
Yep.
Okay. So
and he's the best one.
Right. Of who?
Dude, nobody's got better stats than him this year. Sal.
So he's better than Lombard. You'd rather have Spencer Jones than Lombard.
Well, no, because Lombard plays shortstop, and it's a premium position. It's a different value.
He's better than Dominguez because we haven't seen him fail.
I think he's probably going to be better than Dominguez.
Well, why? Based on Dominguez?
Well, Dominguez never hit 30 home runs in the minors.
Yeah. Oh, but he's got the light tower power. And what? Because we've seen him struggle for 3 months in the big leagues? Like now.
And by the way, as much you make Dominguez seem like Peraza. Dude, he's hitting 265.
I like Dominguez. I'm just saying, I would value Dominguez more than I would Spencer Jones. But Dominguez is also not what he was supposed to be.
Sal, he's 22.
BT, is Dominguez what he's supposed to be so far?
I've already said no.
Okay. Is Volpe what he's supposed to be so far?
No.
Okay, 0 for 2.
No, okay, yeah, 0 for 2.
Yeah. And that's 0 for 2. I'm not going to rehash everything else. But Volpe
I got you. I got you. 0 for 2.
Yeah, Spencer Jones is next. Maybe the Yankees get 1 for 3 here.
Well, maybe it's 0 for 3. Maybe it's 1 for 3.
Has Austin Wells been the All-Star you thought he was going to be?
Hey, he's going to have 20-something home runs.
Has he been the All-Star you thought he was going to be?
He's going to have 20-something home runs, Sal.
0 for 3.
I mean, you can minimize everybody in the Yankee system if you just look at their numbers, dude. I don't know what to tell you, Sal.
I'm not...
Like, dude, we could do a 10-year, discourse.
You got to be honest with yourself.
I am.
Else. Is Austin Wells living up to your BT's? Forget his numbers. Is he living up to your expectations coming into the season?
Hold on. From the average perspective, no. If you go back and rewind the tape, when I first said that he was going to hit 20 home runs in the majors, and you pretty much laughed. Well, he's going to hit 20 home runs in the majors.
I didn't laugh.
You're like, well, then you throw up the other prospects. Oh, another prospect, Kevin, Matt Moss.
By the way, now ask me the question. He's not living up to my expectations. I thought he was going to be better. I thought Volpe was going to be better than you thought he was going to be.
How many catchers are going to have 22, 23 home runs? How many?
How many catchers are going to walk off second base thinking that they were 3 out?
I understand that. That's why I would have benched him.
And he's hitting what now? A robust what? 200?
Yeah,
where's
210,
he at?
205, 210, whatever it is.
So you're hanging on the home runs like... dude, I don't get it.
What don't you get?
Why you can't acknowledge that all 3 of those guys who you thought and they thought were going to be better and more impactful this year aren't. It doesn't mean that they can't. They aren't right now.
Now, just re-identify the 3 guys. You're talking about Wells,
Volpe,
Dominguez, and Volpe.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Volpe, and we've done this a lot, but I'll do it again for you. Volpe is a mess. There's no excuses, dude, number 1. Number 2, Dominguez is playing much better than you ever give him credit for. And number 3, Wells is a power catcher. I'm good with that. Yeah, I wish he was hitting 250.
What exactly am I not giving Dominguez credit for?
Dude, you make it seem like he is a scrub.
BT, he was supposed to be a star. Read off his numbers. You're a big numbers guy. Read off his numbers.
No, I don't have him. Could there be no middle ground? Does it have to be absolute failure, absolute home run? He's 22.
Understood, but
I don't think that you do.
You're not acknowledging what the failures are now.
I am.
No, I don't think you are.
No, well,
you keep referencing age and size. I don't know what. Like, what is this? A bodybuilding contest? Like Spencer Jones is 6'7", Jason Dominguez is 22. Like, I don't care.
Okay.
I like Dominguez's tools. I thought he was going to be more impactful than what he is. I would have kept him in the minors or sent him down to the minors to have him get more seasoning. Would have done the same thing with Anthony Volpe. They're not doing it. They're living with the production so far. To me, it's nowhere near the production that it was supposed to be. It doesn't mean that they are bust or that they won't be. What it means is right now, in year 3 with Volpe and where we are with Dominguez and Wells, none of those 3 have lived up to the expectations that were on them yet.
And having said all that, Volpe hit a grand slam in the World Series and has a Gold Glove. Okay? Dominguez is hitting, 300 against righties, and he's a blur on the bases. Now, and by the way, I said, bench him. Don't put him in the outfield. This is not being blind and, oh, wow, he's phenomenal. Always the Martian. Number 1, I'm not a big nickname guy. I don't get into that nonsense. Can you play or can you not? And for me, there's enough evidence. Now, Jones has to do it at this level, but at least for Volpe and Dominguez, there's enough evidence that they can. It's less than what I thought. It's more than nothing. It's better than a lot of scrubs around baseball. And you know what? As they go, and here's really what matters. Like, we can fixate on where these young players are. It's really still about the New York Yankees. It's not the New York Volpes or the New York Dominguezes or the New York Jones. And a week ago, I didn't think the Yankees would win the division because I hated their bullpen. I didn't like the team. Today, I think they're a lot better. And guess what? Even with all these disasters, all these guys that the Yankees draft and fail and abandon and never develop, and they pull them up and they don't want to trade them, guess what? They still play every night, and they're still going to win 90-something games.
Oh, okay.
So? Is it really as bad as you're making out to be?
Dude, I'm the one who said they're going to win the division. You wanted to sell. You wanted to sell. I said they're going to win the division. I'm not talking about big picture with the Yankees. I expect them to make the postseason every year. If anybody was higher on them, it was me, more so than you. That's number one. Number two, I'm talking about the young players because it pertains to what we're talking about with the trade deadline, trading the younger guys. So you're now high on Spencer Jones. I wouldn't want to give him up. And I'm giving you 3 current examples. I'm not referencing, I didn't even go down the Torres, Sanchez road. I'm giving you 3 current examples of guys who have not lived up to the expectation. So when Spencer Jones eventually gets called up here, whether it's this year or next year, and he's hitting 200, let's say next year he's hitting 200, but he has 10 home runs by the All-Star break, and I'm saying, dude, he's not living up to the expectations, and you're going to say, he's got 10 home runs.
No.
He's got 10 home runs. I mean, he's not a scrub. I never said these guys were scrubs. All I'm saying is they're nowhere close to what they were supposed to be. That's it. It has nothing to do with big picture Yankees. Doesn't mean the Yankees can't win the division or win the World Series. I'm just talking about the young players based on the expectations versus results. They are nowhere near where they're supposed to be. And in year 3, as a matter of fact, Anthony Volpe's further away from where we're supposed to be from ever before.
And by the way, how many prospects in baseball are?
That's my point.
Well,
which is why I would trade them.
Yeah, I understood, which is why I told you yesterday, if the Guardians want to give the Yankees Quan for Dominguez, even though I'm still intrigued by Dominguez, I'll do it. But there's a limit. You ain't getting Schlittler, and you ain't getting Jones, and you ain't getting Lombard. And they agreed.
BT and Sal on the Fan. More your calls. We come back, 888-808-1019.
Odyssey's We Can Survive, starring Ed Sheeran.
The Goo Goo Dolls.
Alex Warren.
And Shabuzi.
Everybody at the market.
All on one stage, one night only.
Friday, September 26th at the Proof.
Hello. Thank you all for coming out to this.
Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
The dog days of summer can only mean one thing: the start of Giants training camp. The daily grind to prove if you have what it takes to be a champion. Just like my favorite trucks, Ford F-Series, proving day in and day out why they've been number 1 in America for 48 straight years. That's a lot of winning if you ask me. With all their power, payload, tech, and strength, it's no wonder Ford is the official truck of the New York Giants. Check out the entire lineup of built Ford tough trucks at your local Ford store.
From Jason Momoa, Hawaii's our home. Chief of War, now streaming on Apple TV+.
Cruel men will be coming soon. If this island is torn between chiefs, Hawaii will fall.
Don't miss the epic event of the summer. To save a kingdom,
I believe we are stronger together.
a warrior will rise.
If there's any hope, it is you.
I will fight for our people. Chief of War, now streaming on Apple TV+.
Some things are hard to commit to, like learning how to surf or saving for a family vacation. But one commitment that's easy, switching to Fios Home Internet with a 5-year price lock guarantee. That means 5 great summers of fast, reliable internet at the same low price. All with the Fios 1 gig internet plan. Plus no hidden fees or equipment charges. Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch today. Price guarantee applies to base monthly rate only for new and existing My Home customers.
The Powerball jackpot is up to $410 million. With a win like that, you could have the power to change your life forever. Take a chance on Powerball and pick up a ticket at your favorite New Jersey lottery retailer today.
Sal Licata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Hey, Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, September 5th, when the Yankees host the Toronto Blue Jays, and be ready to receive the Yankees promotional giveaway. It's Austin Wells football jersey night. The first 18,000 guests will receive an Austin Wells football jersey, presented by Bank of America. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Blue Jays for Austin Wells football jersey night on Friday, September 5th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's stepping into a world that's exciting. With a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires. Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Talk sports with BT and Sal. Middays 10 to 2. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
And this report brought to you by Primo Brands, the official water sponsor of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. The Mets will be at home against the Giants tonight, of course, making a move yesterday before the trade deadline, and that was for outfielder Cedric Mullins from the Orioles. We heard from GM David Stearns. Mullins' numbers maybe not great this year, but according to Stearns, he's been on the up.
We like the quality of center field. He's played especially over the last, let's say, 8 weeks. Recovered from a little bit of a hamstring tweak, and since that point, we think he's played a really quality center field.
Mets and Giants tonight at Citi Field. David Peterson, Robbie Ray, the starters. Mets will start the day half game ahead of the Phillies on top of the NL East. As for the Yankees, a 7-4 win over the Rays on Thursday. They played in and around the rain. Big rain delay in between. Bunch of moves made as well. They acquired Camilo Doval from the Giants, Jake Bird from the Rockies, David Bednar from the Pirates, and utility man Jose Caballero from the Rays.
They went
also
to town.
sent Oswald Peraza of the Angels. What's this?
They went to town.
They went to town. You want to say that about 33 more times?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to highlight it and play that back?
I told you I was.
Yeah, I know.
In fairness. By the way, Google Maps will get them to town, but are they going to stay in the town? Do they want to be in town?
He pulled out of the driveway, finally went to town.
Anyhow, tonight, the Yankees will be in Miami. Carlos Rodon making the start against the immortal Jansen Junk, Sal. It'll be on the Fan at 7:10.
Very familiar with his work.
Yes, I'm sure. The Yankees 11 games over 500 at 60-49. Knicks and Mikal Bridges agree to a 4-year extension worth $150 million. It is 68 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on the Fan, now streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT and Sal back on the Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Let's get back to some phones here. BT, I know the callers want to get in, give their thoughts on the trade deadline. We're, of course, recapping. We get into some Jet stuff later on with McLaurin. I heard Gio talking about it this morning. I know you wanted to get into that about Terry McLaurin requesting a trade, possibly a fit for the Jets. And, of course, Mikal Bridges signing an extension, so we'll do some other stuff outside of the baseball. Let's keep it going here with the trade deadline conversation for now. Dylan is calling from Long Island. What's up, Dylan?
Hey, BT and Sal. Today was made for you guys, man. This is great stuff so far.
Nice.
I just want to come at you, Sal, here, because I was going to do a whole thing about the starting pitching, but that little Volpe, Wells, Dominguez thing drove me nuts. So I got to ask you this. Out of all the prospects in New York, right, is there any bigger fail than Francisco Alvarez if we want to talk about failures in New York? His 220 career average, he was a number one prospect in all of baseball. Is there anybody that's a bigger fail than him? And I don't care what he's done over the last 10 games.
Absolutely. Now, Francisco Alvarez has not lived up to the expectation, but absolutely there were bigger fails. You have to remember there were circumstances here. He also hit 20, he was hurt, obviously, a lot of this year. Francisco Alvarez has come nowhere to living up to the expectation, but I wouldn't say that he's the biggest failure. I think there were many more.
Okay, that's fair. And
well,
then
I mean,
Dylan,
what do you think this is? Do you think this is an anti-Yankee thing? It's not. I just said it before.
With you, I think it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I do with you for sure.
It's not. It's that I'm real. Maybe others aren't, so it makes me feel like it is. It's not. It's real. Go ahead, ask me another one about the Mets. Like, you think I don't rip the Mets? I rip the Mets more than anybody and have consistently than anybody. So it's not. So you're wrong, Dylan, and anybody else who thinks the same thing. I don't care if it's BT or somebody else. Any Yankee fan, stop being so sensitive. I call it how it is. By the way, I came on today and said neither team did enough. But you don't want to hear that. You're hearing what you think is anti-Yankee stuff. It's not. Show me the facts how Dominguez, Volpe, or Wells have lived up to the expectations. I just admitted Alvarez has not lived up to the expectations. Can any Yankee fan admit that their three guys haven't lived up to the expectations? I'm still waiting to hear it.
Wait, hold on. I already did.
I don't think that you did.
I already did.
It'd be the equivalent of me saying, well, Alvarez hit 25 home runs a year ago.
Well, you just said that, Sal.
No. I acknowledge that he's not where he was. I'm saying it's part of the story. It's part of his thing here. Alvarez, yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you this. So if I have to say it a different way, tell me. I will. I think this is pretty clear, but if it's not, let me know. When I said a week ago, I would have let Dominguez play left field again. Is that not pretty clear on how I view him right now? When I said 2 days ago, I would bench Volpe, and a week ago, is that not pretty clear on how I feel about these guys?
No, but I think we're just talking about overall.
Yes. And to get to where they need to be, which is the ultimate goal, those are the things that I would try to do before I either ship them out or give up on them. Again, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, also, as far as it goes with Alvarez, the Mets sent him down.
Yeah.
Remember, they sent him down.
I get it.
Obviously, and we were saying that they should send him down, and they did. And now he's come back and he's producing again. So we're still in the evaluation period of Alvarez. But as far as him being the top prospect and all that, no, he's coming nowhere close to that. So now, as you go with the Yankees, it's, hey, they might have to move Dominguez, or they might have to sit Volpe, or send him down, whatever it may be. But that's where we're at with these three guys.
Well, I mean, by the way,
yeah, I'll let Dylan go in a second. Go ahead. I put him on hold. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Dylan. Finish up, man. You got another thought? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, appreciate it, fellas.
Yep.
Just wanted to also touch on both deadlines because this is where I'm going to be nice to the Mets, Sal. I think David Stearns did a great job. I think Brian Cashman did a great job. I think David Stearns addressed every need except for top-end starting pitching, which is really what the Mets needed, and it didn't move at this deadline. Charlie Morton, Merrill Kelly, those aren't top-end guys. They just aren't. Those guys are not going to change the Mets and Yankees starting pitching trajectory of the season. They're just not. Especially with Louis Seal coming back for the Yankees and for the Mets. Is Merrill Kelly and Charlie Morton really going to change anything for their rotation? I don't think it is.
No, and Merrill Kelly, thank you for the call, Dylan. Merrill Kelly, I was told, did not like New York. I think Ottavino even said that on the air, that Merrill Kelly did not like New York last night.
Oh, good. We don't want him then. He doesn't have the chops to do. You don't want to come. We can't roll the dice on if you got big enough stones to handle New York, you know?
That's exactly what I said. No, it wouldn't have been a difference maker. And by the way, for the record, both teams did a good job. I don't think, but Dylan says, oh, yeah, they both did great, but they could have used another starter. Well, okay, if you thought that the Mets needed a top starter, then you shouldn't be satisfied with what they did.
Yeah, I get that because you're saying one thing and then you're saying, well, I would have liked this, but yet you give him a really high grade. Well, it's got to be a little bit less than that if you wanted more, and he didn't get it. I understand the concept. What I said to Sal earlier is, and this applies to both teams, is that both teams now have a chance to kind of, connect the game in a bit of an unconventional way. Yeah, we would all love to give the baseball to Dwight Gooden or Clemens or Andy Pettit and just chill for 2 hours and say, all right, go put up 7 or 8 zeros and get in, Mariano or Roscoe or whatever, McDowell. Sure, the game's very different. So while it's still a little bit worrisome that both teams have some shallowness, if you will, in the back of the rotations, both teams' ability to stack bricks from inning really 4. Like Holmes went 3 2/3 the other day, and the Mets offense didn't show up. I get that. But if Holmes next time out goes 3 2/3, the Mets are so much more equipped to just connect that game and maybe win based on the new arms they have. And same for the Yankees.
Yeah, both teams, Look, it's the number one thing that I would value. And by the way, I think the Mets, you could make the argument, we have made this. I think the Mets needed a top-end starter more than the Yankees. The Yankees have an ace in Max Fried. The Mets have Senga, who's good, Peterson, who's good, Manaea, who's good and pitched like an ace last year, but they don't have a legit ace the way that Max Fried is. So you can make a case the Mets certainly needed one more, even though the Yankees maybe feel like their rotation's been beat up or could have used a depth piece, whatever. But as far as the bullpen goes, that to me is the number one thing that you need as the weapon going into the postseason. It's just the way the sport is right now. I don't love it, but that's how it is. You want to have as many different arms, power arms, whatever you want to say, lefties. You want to have as many options, as many weapons coming out of that bullpen in October. And I think both the Mets and Yankees made sure that they loaded up in the pen heading into where we expect these teams to be postseason teams. And the bullpen should be the strength. That's no longer a weakness. Now it's about some of the other stuff with these teams.
Bullpens are loaded, which really makes it appealing and enticing and encouraging. One more thing on the prospects. I was thinking about this during the break. Think about the hoops that we've jumped through, whether it's Daniel Jones or whether it's Zach Wilson or whether it's Sam Darnold, trying to figure out, and basically they weren't good, but Jones the best of the three, not saying much. But we would go through hoops and mental gymnastics. Well, if Zach had a better O-line or better play call or Darnold had this or Jones had that, we try to conjure up every ounce of information to give us the ability to project what those quarterbacks would have been with optimal situations. And that's so hard. It's almost impossible. And I got to tell you, I think the only thing harder than that is judging prospects. Because number one, what you do with AAA doesn't always correlate to what you do in the majors. Usually it's less. Sometimes it's actually more in a weird, wild way. And the other thing, too, is a lot of these now, Volpe's gotten runway, Dominguez has gotten runway, Alvarez early on got runway. But a lot of times these guys get called up and they're not playing every day, especially the old Yankee way. You play 2 games, you don't do anything, you sit, you get set down, you get sent packing. It's just very, and I don't pretend to be an expert on this. I'm just telling you my philosophies and how I view certain prospects. It is very hard to do. It's hard for Cashman and Stearns.
But that's exactly why I would be willing more so to give them up. And by the way, everybody thinks, oh, you're just giving up or you're trading these guys. No. It would be a scenario where if you want to use the Quan example with the Yankees, whatever example with the Mets, you'd obviously have to be getting back something worthy. And specifically with Quan, because he's under control and I think a perfect fit for the Yankees, to me, it would be worth it to give up Spencer Jones or Dominguez or whatever it would take. And then you have the next guys coming up. There are certain guys you're not going to want to give up for whatever reason. By the way, Dominguez was that. For years, Dominguez was that. And now all of a sudden, maybe he's more vulnerable. It just goes to show you that you don't know. And by the way, BT, to take it a step further, all the guys that the Mets and Yankees did give up at this trade deadline, there's no guarantee that one of them's not going to pop and become a star player. You don't know. Just because we haven't heard of them or because they haven't been raking at AAA or whatever it may be, doesn't mean that they can't pop and become a productive big leaguer.
No question about it. We focus on the top 2, top 3, top 4 guys. Sometimes it's the guy who's 13th that just comes out of nowhere.
Right.
And it clicks a little bit late, whether you're a pitcher or a hitter. And listen, go back to the beginning of the Yankee dynasty when George, thankfully, rest in peace, but thank God he was suspended for 2 games. We can get business back on track. And George was saying, just to stick Michael, trade Pettit, trade Bernie, trade this guy.
Right.
And this, for those maybe too young to know, I know you know this, but for those who don't know, Stick lied to him. And he's like, yeah, nobody really wants him. There's not a whole lot of interest. We're going to get 50 cents on the dollar. Let's just keep him, see what happens. Because Stick's instinct, now Stick was also a great baseball visionary and tactician, but you just don't know. And if the Yankees would have or if he would have consented or conceded to what George wanted him to do, I'm not saying the Yankees would be championship-less, but it would have been a lot tougher without Pettit, Bernie, Mo, whatever combination it was. So it's a mixed bag. There's no 100%, let's do this, we're right. 100%, don't do this, we'll be wrong. You got to get a little lucky. You got to have good instincts. And the bottom line is you really need to have a good core, and this is probably the biggest point, of veteran players around these young guys, like a Judge, like a Bellinger, like a Pete, Soto, and Lindor.
But, BT, to your point about Stick, he properly evaluated that. When are we going to see Brian Cashman properly evaluate that? That's why I keep referencing these examples. This is not a philosophy of trade them all, get rid of all the prospects. It's specific to Cashman because the Yankees, to their credit, always have these hyped prospects. The Yankees, to their fault, either hold on to these guys and or don't develop them. That's the thing. And this has been going on in recent years, the baby bombers, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
That's my issue, is that I don't trust Brian Cashman and the current Yankee organization to properly evaluate which prospects to keep, which ones to trade. They're reluctant to trade many of them, obviously, except the guys that we don't hear of, and everybody's okay with doing that. But the ones that they do keep here, I'm fine with that. I just want to see them develop. And the current roster alone has 3 that have not developed to love. That's all that I'm saying.
No, I got you. Listen, I'll throw this in too. So one of the names that was dealt, and I read a little bit about him even before yesterday, Rock Reggio, middle infield. Okay. I think he was like the 10th best prospect in the Yankee system.
Not their top guy. Their top guy was the other guy, right? Raphael something there?
Flores?
Yes, Flores.
So many names written down. Jeez. Well, I mean,
same thing, I know.
New players, dude. But, like, take Rock Reggio, who's the Yankees' 10th rated prospect, right? And not by the Yankees, by other, MLB pipeline, whatever. And to me, like, if Rock Reggio, this is what makes it interesting. If Rock Reggio was the second-rated prospect, and it's not like he was the 37th, he was only 8 slots away from being number 2.
Right.
And he was traded like he was, there would be a different energy, maybe even from me, quite frankly. So the ratings, it's a dime a dozen. Throw a dart. This guy's 1, this guy's 4, this guy's 9, this guy's 20. Who the hell knows? I think the difference between you and I've got more willingness and patience to roll the dice with these higher-end kids who can run and have different type bodies and different plus assets, as players. But not everybody's like that. I get it.
And the other difference to your point about Reggio, like, who's to say that next year he couldn't be number 2? So it fluctuates so much.
That's true. That's true.
Same thing with Spencer Jones alone. If you use him as the one example, it fluctuates so much that from year to year, it's like, oh, this guy's a top guy. Whoever, pick a guy, Devi Garcia, whatever it may be.
Peraza,
Peraza.
A couple years ago.
He was supposed to be the shortstop. Oh, Beatty can't miss, third baseman. And now look at it. It's like, he's a middling, maybe a utility guy. So it fluctuates so much, which is also part of the reason why I wouldn't have as much patience. Andrew is calling from Flemington. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Sal, BT.
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, what's happening, buddy?
Hey, can we start with the Stephen Kwan love? The way you guys talk, he's like Mike Trout in his prime.
Not me.
He's a career,
I don't like him that much.
He's a career 750 OPS, sub 400 slugging. You don't give up a Dominguez for Stephen Kwan.
You're crazy. You do if you're smart. You do if you're smart, Andrew. What does Stephen?
He's got. Go ahead.
Well, what does Stephen Kwan do well?
He's a slapping Judy hitter. He's got 34 homers in
Andrew.
4 seasons.
Andrew, are you caught up on home runs or are you caught up on baseball players? Which one?
He's a good player.
No, Andrew. He's a 3-time Gold Glover and a 2-time All-Star that can pencil in to lead off right now for the Yankees, that will put the bat on the ball and hit for a high average, which balances out the other strengths of this team, specifically power.
Yeah. You don't give up a guy that has a ceiling of a Dominguez or Spencer Jones for Stephen Kwan, though. Their ceilings are much, much higher than this guy.
Hold on. That's a personal philosophy, and thanks for the call. Now, I'm more with you. And by the way, like, if Toronto did that, or the Red Sox did that, or the Tigers did that, or the Astros did that, or maybe the Seattle, even though Seattle made 2 moves, as we know, and they gave up, like, their second-best prospect, their 7th, like, okay, to me, that maybe there's more of a conversation to have. But the fact that doesn't mean ultimately that Kwan wouldn't have helped the Yankees. He certainly would have, because he does things that really nobody else on the roster does so far. I get that. But that nobody else was tempted, well, maybe not tempted, but was inspired enough to do it and give up whatever was required to get him. Yankees aren't the only team that said, we're good. You know what I mean? So same with Alcantara. Like, if other teams were beating down those doors, like with Mason Miller giving up the 3rd overall prospect in baseball, I think it's maybe a little more fair criticism, like, Cashman, this team did that. What are you doing? But nobody else did it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're right.
But it doesn't mean that they're wrong.
Yeah, but here's why nobody else did it. The prices are sky high.
I know.
Why? Why are the prices sky high?
Well, because you've got 5 teams bidding for one guy.
No, because the player is good, cheap, and under control. And I love that, you can't give up a player like Dominguez with his potential for Steven Kwan. A two-time All-Star? Hey, guys, wake me up when Dominguez sniffs the All-Star game. That's number one. He was supposed to be, the potential and ceiling is supposed to be, the reality is he isn't. And he's lucky that he has a position. Already, the main talking point with Dominguez is not his super skill, his light tower power. It's, I don't know if he can play left field. Maybe try him in center. Maybe he's not an outfielder. I don't know if he can hit right-handed. So let's not dismiss. Now, it's within your right and your opinion to value whatever you want. Whoever, I'm not talking to you, BT, I'm talking in general.
I got you.
You want to value Dominguez? That's fine. You want to value Steven Kwan? That's like I do. That's fine. What is known is Steven Kwan is a Gold Glove outfielder. That's proven, and it's not a fluke. Jason Dominguez is not.
Yes.
I'd rather have the known commodity, especially when it comes to the Yankees, being that he would, to me, a perfect compliment. They don't have a leadoff hitter. They could use more high average, high contact, and a Gold Glove fielder. Like that. I'm giving you multiple reasons why.
Yes, I got you. I just don't agree, but I got you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now the other thing, Sal, you're leaving out one thing that I tend to value, and that's the birth certificate. It's 22.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a little more willing to see. I mean, if there's one sport where it takes a while to get going, it's baseball.
Well, we're seeing that certainly with the Yankees, yes.
And we're seeing that with the Mets, too. Yeah. Seeing it with everybody.
But I wouldn't have that patience. And that's what I'm saying. We're seeing with the Yankees with the three guys. I mean, with
the Mets. Hold on. But the Mets have had that patience. They've given Beatty run. They've given Vientos runway. They've given Acuna space. They've given Alvarez a chance to fix him. Mets are showing the same restraint that the Yankees are.
They've sent those guys back down to the minors.
Yes.
Yeah, Beatty's been up and down. Vientos was up and down. No. They're trying to trade Vientos. That didn't work.
But they didn't trade him.
By the way, Vientos had as more impact than anybody of the you want to go quadrant. Dominguez, Volpe, Wells, Vientos. Mark Vientos has proven, forget about the ceiling, he has proven himself more, even if it's just one season a year ago, than any of the other three.
I agree. He was phenomenal down the stretch.
But even with that, there's still inconsistencies and still maybe willing to move him. So,
well, think about this. And this is why... I mean, I'm not trying to make some grand statement, but this is why baseball is the hardest thing to predict. So up, down, Syracuse, up, down, nothing really good, up, down. Okay, well, who is this guy? I mean, at one point, people were saying he's not even a baseball player, like that he was horrendous.
Right.
And I kind of agreed with that. I'm like, this guy doesn't look the part. He's slow. He can't feel whatever. And he wasn't hitting. And then he played twice as good as Pete Alonso down the stretch. I know the big home run against Devin Williams, and then, of course, Pete got hot against Philly, whatever. Had some big postseason moments, and I've got respect for Pete. But you're not going to see Landry Shamet outplay Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just baseball.
Right. And by the way, we talk about the fluctuation with these guys. Vientos, same thing. Like, it happens, and that's a part of why I'd be willing to give up the high side or the potential for a known commodity. I'm not looking to give guys away, but Kwan, to me, with the Yankees specifically, would be a perfect fit. Hey, either way, it didn't happen. So now we'll see in 5 years where Dominguez is. Maybe be fewer, maybe be 2 years, maybe 3 years. Hey, maybe it's the postseason he go nuts. Who knows? We'll find out. 888-808-1019, BT and Sal on the Fan.
Baseball heartbreak, football glory. WFAN covers every win, loss, and headline from the Yankees, Mets, Jets, and Giants. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
FanDuel, because nothing says summer fun like adding excitement to the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Summer sports are calling your name. Baseball under the stadium lights, golf on pristine green fairways, soccer matches with world-class goals, and all the action-packed moments in between. You are going to spend all day following your favorite sports on your phone anyway. Might as well make it more thrilling with FanDuel. Open the app today to see the daily promotions. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/Evan to get started. We love the app around here. It's safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid instantly. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of WFAN. 21 and over, physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The times you spend with your friends and loved ones are the best and will become lifetime memories. Make sure you stay in the picture and stay away from fentanyl. Learn the dangers and risks of this frightening, deadly drug at stayinthepic.nj.gov. Visit stayinthepic.nj.gov.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Like most car buyers, you want to get the most for your money. That's why more Mazda buyers choose Ramsey Mazda. Get impressive offers on a new Mazda CX-5, starting at just $29,276 during the More to Move You sales event. Over 1,000 new Mazda vehicles to choose from. Visit RamseyMazda.com. Get the most for your money at Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
We're always talking New York sports on The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4094. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4094. That's 800-575-4094. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Clouds and sun, breezy, high 74.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both. Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and a Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on a Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
Get ready for a breakthrough in tennis at the U.S. Open. The reimagined Mixed Doubles Championship brings tennis superstars together in an exciting new event. See the top players team up together like never before. Carlos Alcaraz with Emma Raducanu, Frances Tiafoe with Madison Keys, and many more. They're all battling for the official Grand Slam Mixed Doubles title August 19th and 20th. Get your tickets now at usopen.org.
Hey, I heard you switched banks. How's it going? Yep. Ditched a big corporate bank. Hanover Bank made it easy. I moved my business and personal accounts. Hanover Bank. Are they local? Totally. Decisions made right here. Their team lives in the same communities they serve, so the money stays local, benefiting businesses, homes, and futures in our town. Sounds like you're banking with neighbors. Exactly. Real people, real service. I'm sold. Hanover Bank, huh? I'm checking them out.
Visit hanoverbank.com. Hanover Bank. Forward together.
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims. The home of Yankees radio. The Fan. On the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
The BT and Sal Show on The Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets. BT, I don't know about you. I'm already exhausted. I mean, I can't do battle all day like this.
Dude, it's funny you say that, man. It's funny. My son came in and I'm like, I barely even heard what he said. I'm like, wow, talk about getting after it. I mean, it's like 11:20. I mean, you know what it is, Sal? We've had too much Hogan YouTube stuff. We're ready for the steel cage like Bundy. Let's go.
Ready for SummerSlam. By the way, speaking of that, we'll have Michael Cole will be hanging out with us in studio. Michael Cole's a big Met fan, like legit. Not one of these fake celebrities. He's a big Mets fan, so we'll have some fun talking some SummerSlam and some Mets with him coming up. By the way, you left your pants here in the studio.
I know I did. I know.
Like they're hanging up.
I know.
You got to.
I know. Such an idiot. I had a crazy day. I was running around. I had to go to a meeting. Whatever's good. I've talked to you. I've told you. Yeah. Oh, look at there's the shot. There's my pants. The funniest thing is I had my wife. Yeah. Look at him. Hey, what do we got? Size 36, 34?
I don't know. What does that say? What's the inner line? Maybe that's the name of the. I could see like a brand. I didn't know if it was name. If your name was in there or what.
No, dude. Okay. What do you think? I'm Tiki stitching my name into my khakis? First of all, Tiki wears his, because he has the body to do it. Tiki wears his khakis like he's wearing his football pants. Tight as hell.
God bless him.
You can see everything.
I told you, I bought a pair of Tiki's football pants because here was the plan. The plan was that I was going to come in our first, dude, this is how nuts I am. Our first, day after Labor Day together a couple years ago, when we came in September.
Yeah.
I was going to come in full Tiki Barber gear, because you and Tiki together, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, I just bought the pants. They were game-worn Tiki pants, whatever it was, a couple $100 off eBay. I couldn't get them on. They didn't fit.
Are you serious? Hey, by the way, I'm gonna get to. Hold on, I want to show you something. Look at it. Hang on, I gotta reach for it. Hang on.
I can't see anything, so somebody's gonna have to give me the play-by-play of it.
Look what I found somewhat recently.
What are you showing me? You got to tell me here. And for those of us who are not watching YouTube,
look at that.
What is it, BT?
It's Hulk.
Hogan figure?
On, man.
I can't see.
Oh, that's right. You can't see me. That's right.
Yeah,
now you can't see me. I can see you, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I can see you.
How come he can see me, but I can't see him?
I forgot that. Yeah,
that's all.
Because he's on Zoom. You're not.
And by the way, the majority of people can't see either of us because they're listening on the radio. But
true. Although, and we launched this a couple of weeks ago, and it's just our show, the BT and Sal show. You can watch us on YouTube, and I've got it up now just to make sure that you could see me.
Right.
The comments are flying. Yankees, Mets, BT, Sal, going nuts. If you guys want to,
I've been getting texts too about it.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well, now you can get a look. This is my home office if you want to check out that. And obviously, I'm always in studio except today because I have to do something after it. I got to run out, whatever. But Sal is in studio. So if you guys want to check out the dynamic, especially when we start getting loud, I mean, that's when it's funny. I mean, sometimes you know what it's getting like, and it's all debate and it's all sports and it's all entertainment. Right. Even though sometimes we get ramped up, there's no doubt. But when you really want to know, I'm gonna give our viewers a little cue. When we're just a little bit past that point of like, all right. I'm actually a little annoyed for a second, is when we don't look at each other for a second. Like, if we're in studio, like, you'll put your head down, like when we're yelling at each other, and I'm yelling at you, and I might be looking at the clouds. I
learned that move from Mike and Chris, working with them all those years when they would do battle, and then that's it. 5 after 6, back after this, and one would leave the studio, one would stay there in silence, they wouldn't talk to each other, so it's happening.
Well, it's never like that. Actually, if we could. Now, we can't because of the things that we talk about. You and I have said this before. If they can take what we say during breaks and put it out there as content, and there were no filters, it would be absolutely incredible. The stuff that we talk about.
Some of it get us in trouble. BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. The number to call. Pete is calling from Union Beach. What's up, Pete?
Hey, Petey.
Hey, guys. I got a couple things to get off on my mind. You guys have been on a tangent today, and now I need to chime in a little bit, okay?
Yeah. All yours. Go ahead.
Number one, Anthony Volpe talk. You know what it's like? What? It's now become Daniel Jones 2.0. Oh, my God. Bang my head off the wall. Is the guy good? Is he not? Half the fan base hates him. The other fan base loves him. Bench him. Send him down. I can't take it anymore. Number one.
Well, the one difference, hold on, before you get to number two, the one difference, I hear you. It's an interesting way to look at it. It's kind of just reaching that point. But he was the quarterback. I mean, at least you could bury Volpe batting ninth right now, or maybe even bench him. But I got you.
I agree. Number two. I mean, Sal, you say the Mets go all in if they give up prospects for Sandy Alcantara, who wouldn't even start a playoff game today. Look at his metrics. He wouldn't even start a playoff game today.
Two
going all in?
Two things you're wrong about. Number one, I never said I wanted the Mets to go all in for Alcantara. Number two, he would start a playoff game for them.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
You'd rather have Clay Holmes?
No, he wouldn't.
You'd rather have Clay Holmes or Montas start one? Well, then you're just foolish. I mean,
Clay Holmes.
Yeah. Come on.
Really?
Come on, dude.
Go look up metrics.
Pete, and by the way,
the
more I don't need to look up metrics. I know all about it. The more important.
Then I
Clay
guess
Holmes can't get out of the third inning, and he's going to start over Alcantara.
I mean,
good God, what metrics are you diving into?
Alcantara out there for 6 innings, giving up 9 runs doesn't mean.
By the way, Pete, I never said. Neither of us said that we would go all in for Alcantara from the Mets' perspective.
No, you said if they did go all in, it would be a move for like Alcantara.
No, I didn't say that. What I said was if they did land him, that would be something to be a wow move, a splash move. To say it would be A+, like, wow, they really went over the top, believing that he could be.
A guy who has a 6 ERA and who has his strikeouts per 9 are in the crapper right now would be an all-in move?
Yes, it would, because he's a potential ace, which is something they don't have. But go ahead. You have another point, or is that it?
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you, Pete. We appreciate you checking in. There was a little miscommunication there. First of all, to say that if the Mets got Alcantara, he wouldn't start a playoff game is just asinine. Matter of fact, he might start game 1. I'm talking about game 4. He might start game 1.
That's Manaea territory. Stop. It's Manaea's game.
Between Manaea, Senga, and Peterson. Well, let me ask you, who do you trust more out of those 3 right now?
Right now, I trust Peterson.
I agree. We agree. So
I trust Manaea 2. I trust Senga 3, and I trust Alcantara 4 in this theoretical, that he's on the Mets. But I could easily be convinced that Alcantara could jump over Senga, but not necessarily the other two. Not the way he's pitching.
But it would obviously depend on how he does recently. And again,
sure.
I didn't even want him. I just say that the Mets needed an ace more. The Yankees were the team that was hot on him. I'm sure the Mets inquired about him, but I would not. All I'm saying is if they landed that type of player, that's a big splash. That's what I was saying. Not that I wanted them to go all in and get him. All right, PT, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some fun with Michael Cole. We'll talk more Mets with Cole ahead of the deadline and also get into, of course, SummerSlam coming up this weekend at MetLife Stadium. If you live in New Jersey, your electricity rates are going up yet again. If your current cooling system's over 15 years old, you got to get ahead of that rate increase now with the new high-efficiency Carrier AC system. I'm doing the same thing myself. System, unfortunately, older, not working all the time, and there's only one company to call, and it's my friends at Edison Heating and Cooling. They are New Jersey's air conditioning experts, and they have been for decades. Take it from me, you'll save money and stay cooler. They've helped me out even just recently the other day. I had an issue with the AC, where the heat wave. These guys are true experts. Contact my friends now at edisonhvac.com. That's edisonhvac.com.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan 101.9 FM.
Because of social media, because of all this crap, because of a million podcasts, because videos go viral, and everything else of this new era over the last 10 years, I think once they start to lose and they feel it, it is very difficult for them to pull out.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Find a store at metalsupermarkets.com. Terry McLaurin's trade request feels more like posturing than a real breakup. He's frustrated over contract talks, but with Jaden Daniels on the rise and Washington finally built to contend, both sides need each other. For McLaurin, it's his best shot yet at a Super Bowl. Walking away now wouldn't make much sense. I'm Maggie Gray.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,
T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
I'm New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin. Every year, too many lives are lost in alcohol or drug-related crashes. These are preventable tragedies, and it's time to take a stand. Let's make New Jersey's roads safer for everyone. We are all counting on you.
Many tire dealers will sell you Falcon tires, but Town Fair Tire doesn't just sell Falcon tires, they sell them at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, they give you free services for the life of your Falcon tires. That's an unbeatable deal only Town Fair Tire can offer, because Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
From Jason Momoa, Hawaii's our home. Chief of War, now streaming on Apple TV+.
Cruel men will be coming soon. If this island is torn between chiefs, Hawaii will fall.
Don't miss the epic event of the summer. To save a kingdom,
I believe we are stronger together.
A warrior will rise.
If there's any hope, it is you.
I will fight for our people.
Chief of War, now streaming on Apple TV+.
Before you begin your road trip, ask yourself, do you really need 5 full suitcases? With the new 2026 Kia Sportage X Pro's class-leading cargo space, you'll have room for what you need. Find out more at your local Kia dealer today. Keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely and obey all traffic laws. Comparisons based on second row legroom and cargo space behind second row seats in the subcompact SUV class according to Kia segmentation as of June 2025.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
Sal Licata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
It has been a fun week talking some wrestling ahead of SummerSlam, the first ever 2-night event out of MetLife Stadium starting tomorrow night. And right now, BT, it was fun to talk to Triple H. It probably knows nothing about baseball. Fun to talk to Cody Rhodes, also minimal baseball knowledge. Right now, we get the voice of the WWE in studio, Michael Cole, who is a legitimate Mets fan. Let's start there, Michael. First of all, thanks for coming in. BT
thanks,
and I,
guys.
Pleasure to have you on the show with us. What are your thoughts? Mets trade deadline moves.
So bittersweet. I think Stearns did an unbelievable job with the bullpen. I think we may have the best bullpen in baseball. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, you could conceivably go to the bullpen in the 4th inning. every day if you wanted to.
They might have to with the way the starters are going.
Exactly, right? But we didn't give up anybody, which I loved. The problem is now we can lose games 2-0. We still can't hit. We didn't get anybody to help the offense. Mullins isn't the answer, in my opinion. We just have to hope that Pete and Lindor start to hit, and they've been terrible for 2 months, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, he's dialed in, man. Although I might have to correct you a little bit. Best bullpen in baseball. I'm not even sure you got the best bullpen in New York City.
Oh, there we go. I know. I figured I'd hear it from the Yankees guys. Hey, Yankees did well in the bullpen, too. Come on, I'll give you that.
I think both teams did well. What was your first earliest Mets memory?
So it was great. I grew up in Poughkeepsie, and my dad had season tickets in the 70s. I spent 50 games a year in the 1970s when they absolutely sucked. So,
yeah, they were bad.
Yeah, they were terrible. And so, when they finally started to get good, when Hernandez got traded over, I think my favorite season, even up till this day, was 1985. Because that was the year that the Mets finally arrived, and we knew that they were going to be good for a number of years. The kids were coming in.
Got Gary Carter that year.
Yep, exactly. Keith, obviously the man, Dwight and Darryl. So to me, 85 was my favorite season. 2000, I was there. I took my son to his first World Series, Game 5.
Tough night for the kid,
yeah,
huh?
It was. We got beat on our home turf, thanks to you guys. But, in the Cespedes deal in 2015, listen, I'm just a massive Mets fan. I watch every single game. I told a story on the Mets podcast this week about actually having my phone on the desk during Monday Night Raw on Mondays with the sound down and the game on. So I watch it. I watch every game. It's pretty cool.
But what if somebody gets slammed in the table?
Well, that's why I have an OtterBox on my phone.
We're in the studio with Michael Cole at SummerSlam. Of course, first ever two-night SummerSlam taking place Saturday, Sunday, MetLife Stadium. You like the two-night event? For you, it's going to be a lot of extra work. You got Friday Night SmackDown, you got Monday Night Raw, and obviously the 2 nights with SummerSlam.
I love the two-night format, especially for our big shows, WrestleMania and SummerSlam, because we were getting to the point on these big shows where we were going 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours, right? That is viewer fatigue. And I think now we're able to get more of our talent on the cards. We can keep the shows to 3.5 to 4 hours. We have 2 main events each and every night. And I actually say 4 main events because I think the 2 matches that kick off the show and the 2 matches that end the show are our main events. So I love the 2-night format. And the thing with SummerSlam and WrestleMania is our fans have turned it into vacation destinations.
Yeah.
They show up in Vegas for a week. They show up in New York for a week. The hotel that I'm at has a big wrestling convention this weekend. There's fans from all over the place. So I think it's really cool to have these type of events. And it's not just Saturday and Sunday. Tonight we're in Newark for SmackDown. Monday we're in Brooklyn for Monday Night Raw. So we've made a whole 4 days of it.
It's amazing. So how do you prep for this? I mean, talk about them as a Mets fan, Gary Cohen's got his notes, the opposition, the stats, the average. How do you prepare to call a match or matches?
So the interesting thing, BT, and I tell everybody this all the time, is that I'm not just a play-by-play guy. When you're a play-by-play guy in sports, you react. And I remember having a conversation a number of years ago with Joe Buck. Mm-hmm. And Joe was at one of our WrestleManias, and he told me, I can't do what you can do. Because the issue is that we're reacting, but we're acting. Because for the most part, we know how it's going to play out. So we have to be actors as we react to these things. So even though we know that something may happen, we need to be surprised in that moment. We're also storytellers. We're narrators. We have to be involved in character development. And we're also, shills, for lack of a better term. We have a lot of sponsors that we have to get in and we have to take care of. So I wear many hats. So my day preparing for a show is heavily involved in who are our sponsors, because you never want to get those reads wrong. They're paying a lot of money. What are our stories? Where are we going to go after SummerSlam? How do we lead the audience in certain directions? And I have a great team back in Stanford that helps me put statistics together because I don't remember sometimes what happened on last week's show, let alone what happened at SummerSlam 20 years ago. So I need that team to help out.
Are there certain things? I'm learning this. We talked about it. We had Cody on yesterday and Triple H on the day before, and I've been watching the Unreal show on Netflix, which is just fantastic.
I watched it last night, Sal. It's phenomenal.
How good, BT? And how many episodes? You saw the first episode?
First one. Awesome.
Dude, it's so good. It gets even better.
It's good.
And there are parts, Michael, where we see you backstage and Gorilla talking about things. So did you not know Cena was turning heel, or was that a little bit of a work?
No, I did not know. There's been a couple of instances over the years where I did not know what was going to happen. The night that Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker to end The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, I did not know that was going to happen. The John Cena situation, did not know was going to happen. And as Triple H said in the Unreal documentary, there was a very small circle of people who knew. So my reaction that you got that night was genuine because John and I have been friends for 30 years, and I have been the voice of his entire run here. And he was the biggest babyface, biggest good guy in the history of our business. And for that to happen on that night and the way that it played out, in a million years, I never saw it coming. So all of my emotion and all of my reaction was real. And that's sometimes where it's cool that you don't know what's going to go on.
That's great.
Hey, and by the way, I got a question for you. So, as we said, Triple H was with us in studio, and Sal and I both love wrestling. You know, maybe if Triple H ever writes us into the script, who's the heel? Is it me or is it Sal?
BT.
Yeah, without hesitation, BT. Met fans gotta stick up for each other.
No doubt, you're a Yankees guy.
Really, he goes. BT and Sal, the fan here. Of course, SummerSlam, two-night event taking place this Saturday, Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Is there a particular match that you're looking forward to? And then do you get fatigued? Like you talk about it, you're doing a lot of work here. Both nights, fatigued. And the main event is going to be taking place, I'm assuming, the last match on Sunday, the Cena match with Rhodes. But is there one match you're looking forward to?
Well, so for the fatigue factor, yes. Both physically and mentally, because obviously mentally, because you have to be locked in for 4 hours at a very high level. We don't have a lot of ebbs and flows in our shows. You want to be as excited about every single match on the card because you don't want to do a disservice to any of the superstars. So you're at a very high level. So mentally and physically, it wears on you. But from a match standpoint, I'm looking forward, obviously, to Cena Rhodes. It's Cena's last SummerSlam as he's in the middle of his retirement tour. I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm really excited for the women on Sunday. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Naomi for the World Championship. That's going to be an incredible match. And obviously CM Punk and Gunther, which will main event Saturday night for the World Championship, is going to be very interesting. Gunther has a lot to prove. This is probably the biggest match of his career. And Punk hasn't had a title since he's come back.
You know what's happening already or no?
No, I don't.
You'll find out tomorrow?
And I'll meet probably with Triple H at some point during the day, and I'll basically say to him, what do I need to know? And he'll fill me in on the beats that I need to get into. But I may not know all the finishes heading into the weekend.
Would you ever respectfully say, and it's a delicate balance, obviously, with the creative team, when you find out what's going on, will you ever intimate, like, I don't know, is that going to work? Like, will you just keep that to yourself, or will you be honest with them?
So for the most part, I would keep it to myself. Listen, the creative team we have, they're kicking out 3 television shows a week, 52 weeks a year, and then you put premium live events on top of that. They're an incredible team. They do a great work. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with every story that they put out there. The fans aren't going to agree with every story, but they work their butts off. And, it's just like being an announcer. That's my lane. And I don't need people coming up to me and saying, hey, do this way, do it that way. I have my own style of doing things. They don't need to hear from me. They know what they're doing. But, at the most part, they put together some pretty compelling stories since Triple H has been charged over the last 3 years.
BT and Sal in studio here with Michael Cole ahead of SummerSlam MetLife Stadium. First ever 2-night SummerSlam this Saturday and Sunday. You mentioned Triple H, of course, and the staff that they have to put together. Do you yourself, when you're going in there each and every single night and you feel like the company, you've been there how long, 30 years?
Almost 30, 28.
Okay. We talked about this with him a little bit. Do you think that this is the healthiest that the company has ever been?
Yes, 100%. For so many different reasons. And again, I'll never disparage the old regime because I wouldn't be here today without them, right? But it's a different world now. I think the superstars, the talent, have much more input into what they're going to say during their promos in the ring. They have much more input into their stories and also into their matches, a lot more than they ever had before. I know from my standpoint, I have a lot of freedom now to go out there and do what I do. I mean, I've done this for 28 years. I've seen just about everything in this business. I think I know how to do the gig. And Triple H allows me to do that. Very rarely will I hear from him during a show, and if I do hear from him, I know, oh shit, this is important. Oh,
it's okay.
Excuse me, sorry, I'm used to.
What do you mean you're used to? Why you can't curse on the air?
Sorry, I'm used to.
The podcast stuff. Michael Cole of all the people, Cody maybe, Triple H maybe, Michael Cole.
Sorry,
you almost, Sal, you almost did it the other day.
I did.
Michael.
I almost said the F word the other day.
Almost did. Hey, Michael, I got a question for you. That's funny. How did you think the company handled all the Hulk Hogan stuff, the tribute, the delicate balance of what was the bad stuff, but 90+% amazing stuff?
I thought the company did an unreal job with the way that they handled Hulk. Listen, no matter what you think about the man, and obviously he's a human being, nobody's perfect. He had a lot of detractors, especially late in his career. But no matter what you think of the human being, there is no doubt what Hulk Hogan, the character and the icon, did for the professional wrestling industry. Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon turned professional wrestling from a small regional promotion into a global sports entertainment juggernaut. I would not be sitting at ringside today if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. And so this man completely changed everything around. I got a lot of flack because I said on ESPN last week that I believed Hulk Hogan was the greatest professional wrestler of all time. I firmly believe that. And I'm not talking about in-ring work, because he wasn't a great in-ring worker. He was an incredible performer. And none of us in any company in professional wrestling would be in this position today without Hulk Hogan.
Well, excuse me, Sal. I'm just curious. So if you think Hulk's number one, and I don't disagree with that based on the impact, almost like the Babe Ruth of wrestling. Willie Mays, a better athlete, better wrestlers than Hulk, but I get your point and I agree. Who would be number 2 or 3 for you? Who did you even have to wrestle with in your own mind to make that opinion or take that stance on Hulk being number 1?
John Cena.
Wow.
John Cena, to me, is the GOAT. Because of how long he has done this, what he's done for this company, taking it from a really tough time when he first started in the mid-2000s to becoming a 17-time world champion, which is a record that probably will never be broken again. His longevity and what he's meant to the industry, and even when he's gone away to become a massive movie star and TV star, which he is today, he still comes back and he's given his entire year of his life to our company in his farewell tour. I think John is the greatest of all time.
What's your personal relationship with Hulk?
I knew Hulk very well. Hulk was very good to me early in my career. When Hulk came back in the early 2000s, he had a lot of kind words for me. I was green at the time. I was still trying to learn the business. And Hulk, one of the things that he told me I'll never forget, and this was right before I was going to call his match with Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania in Seattle. I believe it was WrestleMania 19. I went up to him that afternoon to talk to him about the match. And he smiled at me and he goes, Michael, this is supposed to be fun. Go out there and have fun. Be a fan and just let all the emotions you've ever had in your life for Hulk Hogan and Mr. McMahon come out, and you'll do a fine job. And ever since that moment, I've realized I could be putting shingles on a roof in 100-degree weather in Texas for a living. I get paid to do this and paid to have fun, and I appreciate that. And that's one of the great words of wisdom that Hulk gave me.
This is a great perspective. So I want to take it back to something you said earlier. Michael Cole, by the way, with us here, BT and Sound on the Fan, where your Met roots and your dad would take you to Shea in the 70s, Dave Kingman, Mazzilli, horrible Met teams, but you were there. Did you go to Shea? Because I don't remember ever seeing this at Yankee Stadium, old footage. But Shea used to get a lot of Andre the Giant, the Wild Samoans, Captain Lou, Hulk Hogan early, some others. Did you go watch wrestling at Shea as well, or no?
No, I never saw any wrestling at Shea, but it was pretty cool later on in my career when I first started here. And then, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, we actually had to revoice a lot of those matches so we can put them into our archives. Showdown at Shea, particular moments like that. So I actually lended my voice to that, which was pretty cool. And I know, like, the hardcore fans didn't like it because Michael Cole wasn't around at the time. But it was pretty cool for me as a fan to be able to call that stuff, because that's when I got into professional wrestling. I remember in the late 70s as a kid, sitting up till midnight on a Saturday night with my grandmother in upstate New York to watch Channel 9. Watch Channel 9, right? Oh, yeah, and that's where I started my wrestling fandom. And I grew up with the superstar Billy Grahams and the Bob Backlunds and all those guys.
Morocco.
Yeah, Don Morocco, Snuka.
Snook was the man. I was telling Sal the day that Hulk died, or shortly thereafter, and Sal was off, so I was telling the story to the audience, and then eventually I told Sal, where when it starts, same with my grandma, Italian grandma, Greenpoint, and back then they would go to these little tiny parishes in Brooklyn, all Queens, and like Bruno would show up, and all the stars would show up in front of like 600-700 people in a little teeny tiny CYO gym. That's how it started.
The Albany Avenue Armory, I'll never forget, is where they did a lot of their TV tapings back in the day. And you're right. These larger-than-life guys, Bruno Sammartino, a dude who set a record for selling out Madison Square Garden 200-something times, was playing in front of 400 people at a CYO gym. It's such a different world today. I mean, we're going to be in front of probably 100,000 people over the weekend at MetLife Stadium for SummerSlam. And then we're going to Paris at the end of the month where we're going to play in front of 50,000 people over 2 nights. So it's pretty incredible what this place has become.
You have a favorite pairing of announcers growing up? Like for me, Monsoon Heenan or Monsoon Jesse, Vince Jesse. Did you have anybody that inspired you or a favorite back then?
Vince and Jesse. I loved listening to Vince. And even before I started here, JR and the King.
Oh, okay,
yeah, they were really the Attitude Era for me, and I had just started in the company, so obviously I watched those guys work each and every week, and the pairing of those two guys was absolutely incredible. And then for me, I've had a lot of great partners over the years. You know, JBL was a great one, Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, but to me, my favorite partner of all time was Taz. Taz and I really, took over SmackDown under the tutelage of Paul Heyman, and we, to me, became the best announced team in the business there for a few years. So Taz has always been my number one.
He used
favorite.
to work here at the network. He's a little nuts, I heard.
Yep.
Taz is a good guy. Right down the hall. He's a good guy. He's good though.
He's emotional.
I like him. He's like a stronger version of Sal.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever want to get into sports broadcasting?
I did. So I went to Syracuse University.
Of course.
Went to the Newhouse School. And in fact, one of my great friends actually lived next door to me was Mike Tirico in my graduating class. Yeah. So I called all the Syracuse football and basketball, lacrosse games back in the day. But over the summer, I was doing news. So I actually when I graduated, I actually got a job in news. And I worked news for 8 years. So I worked out of Houston for CBS Radio. I actually worked at WCBS 880 before it closed down, and back in the mid-90s. And then I wanted to get some television experience because I was doing radio at the time. So Todd Pettengill, who used to be a DJ here in New York, he was working at WWE, and he said, hey, listen, we need to audition an announcer. So I went in and did the audition and got the job. And I said, I'll be here for 2 years, get some TV experience, go back to news. 28 years later, I'm still here.
They bought the house. They bought the house.
Yep.
You know, the time at Syracuse, this isn't so much about wrestling, but what year did you get out?
I graduated in 88.
Dude, so you're talking basically when you started the apex of the Big East. Roley, Louie, John Thompson. Are you kidding me?
Dude, so I was able to call the NCAA finals when
Keith Smart
killed us.
Yep.
And I called that. I was able to call the Sugar Bowl the year that we went undefeated, Syracuse football. And then Pat Dye of Auburn decided to kick a field goal, and we ended up in a tie, which perhaps cost us the national championship. So I was there for all that. I was there for so many great years at Syracuse. So I got pretty lucky in my time there.
All right, Michael. Well, we appreciate you stopping. And CBT, a legit sports fan right there.
Awesome. Good stuff, Mike.
Yeah,
really.
We got to get that. We got to get the Mets. What do you think here? Final word. Where do the Mets end up? Do you think they go all the way?
I think they win the division.
And then what?
And then what?
And then anything happens?
So listen, in the playoffs, it becomes a bullpen game. The moves that Stearns makes, as long as we can get Lindor and Pete hitting again, I think we go to the World Series.
I loved it. There you go, BT. I agree, by the way. I'm not worried about Soto, Lindor, and Pete.
Yep.
Those two guys get going to the postseason. That'll be the key. Michael, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Make sure you check it out. We'll be there Saturday, Sunday, MetLife Stadium, the first ever 2-night SummerSlam taking place this Saturday, Sunday at MetLife in New Jersey. The event streams live in the U.S. exclusively on Peacock beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and is available internationally on Netflix. Thank you to Michael Cole. We'll come back, reset, get you caught up on everything with the trade deadline, our opinions there. Right now, let's get you updated. Here's Andrew Bogut.
We're talking New York sports. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 12:02. I'm Andrew Bogish. The Sports Flash is sponsored by Primo Brands, the official water sponsor of MLB. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. And by Total Orthopedics, the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. From simple sprains and broken bones to complex sports injuries, they're the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com today. Giants and Jets training camps chug along without any major contract issues. Not so for the Cowboys. Micah Parsons still doesn't have an extension, and according to The Athletic, things are now bad between him and the team to the extent that Parsons is considering a trade demand or something as drastic as cutting all ties to the club. Not sure that would work, but the two sides are not currently negotiating, and apparently the club refuses to work with Parsons' agent directly. Parsons is at training camp, but staying off the field. No practice this morning for Quinnen Williams. The Jets holding him out as a precaution after tweaking a calf yesterday. The new-look Yankees now in Miami, first of three with the Marlins at 7:10 here on The Fan. The Mets host the Giants, 7:10 on Odyssey Mets Radio. And Wrigley Field will host the 2027 All-Star Game. Fan weather, it's 66 degrees, cloudy in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
New York sports is more than a game. It's a lifestyle. WFAN is the only place where Yankees, Mets, Giants, and Jets fans come together and sound off.
I like Soto. I mean, I like his attitude.
The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
Route 22 Toyota is serving up hot off the grill savings. Flip your current car into a new Toyota with incredible zero-down leases on the area's largest selection of new Toyota models. And for those on a diet, Route 22 Toyota has all the makes and models of budget-friendly used cars starting under $10,000. Plus, everyone drives this summer with their goal of 100% credit approval. So get them while they're hot. Hot off the grill savings, that is, at Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey. Offers for qualified buyers with primary lender approval. See dealer for details.
Some things are hard to commit to, like learning how to surf or saving for a family vacation. But one commitment that's easy, switching to Fios Home Internet with a 5-year price lock guarantee. That means 5 great summers of fast, reliable internet at the same low price. All with the Fios 1 gig internet plan. Plus no hidden fees or equipment charges. Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch today. Price guarantee applies to base monthly rate only for new and existing My Home customers.
Ready to score the biggest deal in breakfast? It's waiting for you at Dunkin'. Dunkin' is serving up the ultimate $5 meal deal. Get 1 premium hot or iced coffee and any 2 delicious wake-up wrap sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're fueling up for a big day or keeping it casual, this deal has you covered. A smooth, bold Dunkin' coffee paired with 2 warm, tasty wake-up wraps? Now that's what we call a big deal. Excludes espresso and cold brewed beverages. Modifications may be an additional charge. Participation may vary. Limited time offer cannot be combined with offers. Exclusion and terms apply.
Talk New York sports on The Fan.
Our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. But did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the stadium before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employee Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That's ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
Taking a Cadillac is more than just taking a drive. It elevates every journey. It's the smooth excitement of an all-electric Lyric, the exhilarating thrill of pushing the limits in a Cadillac Optic, the liberating freedom in the expansive XT6, or the confidence that commands attention in an Escalade or Escalade IQ. Discover which Cadillac is right for you and elevate every journey. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer.
Hey Yankees fans, arrive early at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, August 9th for our Old Timers Day, commemorating the 25th anniversary of the 2000 Yankees winning the Subway Series, presented by Fresh Direct. See Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. Get your Saturday, August 9th Old Timers Day tickets commemorating the 25th anniversary of the 2000 Yankees, presented by Fresh Direct at yankees.com/tickets today.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey iHeart
Town Fair Tire reminds you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody but BT. Of course, we started with reacting to the trade deadline. Fun to break it up there a little bit and talk to Michael Cole, but we were going at it pretty good. And even, like, we both kind of agree. You love what the deadline moves with the Yankees and Mets. I like what they did. I would give them an A. I think both teams clearly got better. Both teams loaded up in the bullpen. I just felt like something was missing from either side, but either way, both teams got better.
There's no doubt about that. Now, it's funny how things have grown and what it's morphed into, social media, even WFAN. It's changed a bit over the years where I don't think that Mike and Chris and others were like this micro dissection of every, maybe they were, but I just don't remember it. Every little teeny tiny move. It's changed a little bit, and we wanted to fit, and we have to have a definitive take because that's just the world we live in. Boom, boom, boom. Next take, next take, next take, next take. And when we're wrong, we'll man up and we'll say it. When we're right, you don't gloat, you just move on. But really, Sal, at the end, I paint that big picture because at the end of the day, whether it's 1987 with those guys or 2025, all you can ask for from a New York baseball perspective, number one, both teams give you a chance to win going into the season. Done. And number two, both teams make the proper adjustments and are aggressive. How aggressive? We could debate that a little bit, sure, but are aggressive to fix whatever holes pop up during the season. Check. And that's a pretty good place to be on August 1st.
It is, and that's why, maybe I have higher standards than I should, whatever it may be, but both teams did what they had to do. If the Mets didn't get multiple relievers, it would have been a problem. If they didn't get a center fielder, it would have been a problem. If the Yankees didn't get multiple relievers, same thing, would have been a problem. If they didn't get a third baseman, would have been a problem. So they both did what we all expected them at the bare minimum to do. I guess I was just waiting for, as a caller said before, the knockout punch, at least from the Mets' perspective, and they didn't do that. Now, still, could they go out there and win the World Series? Yeah, same thing with the Yankees. Did they go get the starter that people wanted, or I wanted Quan? Did they go over the top and get him? No, but could they win the World Series? Yes. So then let's further it, BT, and something I teased before we never got to. After these moves, do you think the Mets and Yankees, or pick one, got themselves to where they're over the top and you would say the favorites to either compete in the World Series or win the World Series?
I would hesitate to say over the top. Like, I'm not going to go bonkers like some of these other, the 98 Yankees or the 86 Mets. It doesn't feel like that. And until it looks like that, I'm not going to take that opinion or that stance. But what I will amend here, based on what the Yankees did, and then I'll give you the quick Mets version. I didn't think the Yankees were going to win the division. I've said that for a while. I do think Toronto's very good. I thought they might do a little bit more. They didn't. That's their problem, not ours. So I think the division is more open than it ever was. I was a little worried about the Yankees maybe not even being a playoff team. I'm not worried about that right now. And as we know, you get in, you could dance, and you could dance for a couple of weeks and make something happen. So I do think the Yankees have a chance to get to. And, I guess if you get there, you can win it. So whatever. Get to and win the World Series. I did not feel that way at all a week or 2 weeks ago. I flipped on the Yankees based on yesterday and McMahon and some other stuff. The Mets I was more bullish on, even though the National League is better, because I knew that they were going to plug up their middle relief, and I didn't think they had as many glaring issues. Now, the one big, and there's also, so I think the Mets could as well, sure. Yes, I do. Favorites? No, I'll probably still say Dodgers, maybe Padres, but the Mets are right there, and so are the Yankees.
Right, okay, but right there, and that's probably the issue. Now, we are talking about, it's a small fraction here, whatever you want to say, but I wanted to go over the top and be favorites, whether it's the Yankee perspective, whereas I do think if the Yankees added, let's say, Quan, the guy that I wanted, I would put them head and shoulders above everybody else in the American League. Now, some may say that they're better anyway than everybody else in the American League. I'm not worried about the Blue Jays or the Red Sox. I think the Yankees are going to win the division. I thought that before, so I'd say that again as as it pertains to the Tigers or the Astros, maybe the Mariners or whatever, but really the Tigers or Astros would concern me. I can't confidently say I think the Yankees are that much better than everybody else in the American League, let alone the National League. And same thing with the Mets. Like, the Phillies added too. The Phillies got better. So yeah, the Mets got better, but so did the Phillies. And so did the Padres, who just swept the Mets. So from a Mets perspective, was it going over the top or was it keeping up with the Joneses? And maybe that's where it was nice, but I wanted to go over the Joneses. I didn't want to keep up with them.
No, listen, that's the goal. You want to have a bigger house than the Joneses. I understand, man.
Yes.
I get it.
I want to go
Understood.
to town. You know what I mean?
Go to town. Go to Cougar Town again. I think that back to Mullins for a second, because most of the emphasis, because there's been more of them, relief pitching, necessary. Great job by Stearns and Cashman. But specific to the bottom third or even final four sticks in the Mets order, so they've been hitting a lot better. They've been hitting better than the top of the order lately. That should change or at least even out. And if it doesn't, then the Mets have different issues. But I think that Lindor and Pete are going to wake up, obviously. You hope Soto's okay. He should be with the foot. We'll see if he plays tonight. But I think with Mullins, and this is kind of being overlooked, so I think invariably at some point, whether it's Mauricio, Beatty, Alvarez, Acuna, some of the lower third guys, they're going to have a little bit of a rough stretch. And when those guys had a rough stretch, it was like young guy, Taylor, who's not a young guy, but just not a good hitter. I think Mullins in that 7-ish spot, in front of a couple of young kids, maybe behind a young kid. Yeah, I'm not saying he's Ken Griffey Jr. out there. He's going to bang home runs and scale walls, but he is a veteran bat who's played in big games, who knows how to hit, who's not afraid. And I just think those conversations, and I can't quantify this is just a gut feel, but like the conversations by the bat rack, by the hitting cage, in the on-deck circle, hey, what did he throw? What was this doing? Look for this. This is coming this way. Those are little things that all the great teams have. And I don't know that the Mets will be a great team this year. I know that they're a good team, but those little additions to me, what he's bringing specifically, especially for need, it's a good move getting Mullins.
Yeah,
I like him.
I do like it, and the more I think about it, the more I'm excited. I think Met fans are going to love Mullins, especially like you said. He's not going to be a leadoff guy. They're not asking that much. He's just going to be a big league center fielder that maybe can be reinvigorated here. The energy of coming to New York and being in the thick of a pennant race and all those different things. A guy who's been proven, like even at his floor right now, he's got 15 homers and 14 steals. So he'll steal a base. He can hit a home run. OPS not bad at 730 for a center fielder. Like according to in accordance with the options that they had out there. So I like the energy around it. And remember yesterday we did the power up with my favorite trade deadline moves, and Darryl Hamilton was one of them. And he's probably a player that most young Met fans don't even know, or if you did know him, you forgot about Hamilton. But I loved him. He wasn't a star. He was a good player. He wasn't a great defensive player, but he was a pro, lefty bat that came up in big spots in the postseason at the bottom of the order, I'm pretty sure, when he first got here. And maybe that could be Mullins. Hey, in a big spot in the postseason, BT, out of the 7-hole, a guy like Mullins give you a quality professional at bat, put the bat on the ball, maybe drive in a run or two. He's going to play a good center field. So they had to do it. The Mets had to get a center fielder. They did. They had to get bullpen arms. They did. Yankees, same thing. And you're right. Bottom line, all you could ask for is that the teams load up and put themselves in a position to go win. And more specifically with the Mets, because the Yankees have done this many times. I can't tell you, BT, how many times over the years I'm looking at the Mets roster and I'm like, good God. They've got like 4 25th men. And that was when they had 25th men. Now it's a point where it's like, boy, who's going to make the bullpen? Boy, who's going to make the roster? Like they are loaded, even with some of the injuries, Winker being out or whatever it may be. They are loaded, and the Yankees obviously doing the same thing with bringing in that depth now, where the roster, instead of like, oh, yeah, this guy is expendable, now it's tough to find out which guy is going to be expendable on each of these rosters.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the Mets have some juice at the back end of the roster. A couple guys that could run, a couple guys that could bang a few balls in the seats there. I like that, too. And really, look at I think that Cashman did a great job with the bench, too. Now you got a pinch runner. You got Rosario come off the bench, hit a lefty. And, by the way, you think about the two, one for each team, obviously, major positional upgrades for the Yankees and the Mets. McMahon's not perfect. Mullins is not perfect. McMahon's going to be here longer than Mullins because Mullins is an expiring deal. But, it's no longer a complete unknown. It's not like the Yankees, and this would have just been unacceptable with Judge in his prime and Soto and what the Mets have, and Lindor in his prime as well, and Pete maybe being here for the final time this year. Like, you can have a few young players accenting the roster, but you can't rely on young players who have shown no real premonition of being a good player. And I know McMahon strikes out a lot. He's a sick fielder with pop, and he's actually hitting really well. He's hitting 400 since he came here. So the Yankees addressed a gaping hole with not a star, with a solid pro who's a veteran. And the Mets addressed a gaping hole, even though Tyrone Taylor's
Tyrone Taylor, yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Tyrone Taylor,
yeah. I was talking football with Colt earlier about if Fields gets hurt. So yeah. So Tyrone Taylor, if even though he's a great fielder, he's a problem with the stick. So what the Mets just substituted for him, Those are big upgrades, and they're pretty much autopilot guys. Like, you don't have to hold their hands and coerce them emotionally. McMahon's a pro. Mullins is a pro. Go play baseball. Have some fun.
BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Maurice is calling from Greensboro, North Carolina. What's up, Maurice?
Hey, Mo.
Hey, Sal. Hey, BT. Glad to hear y'all guys both. I'm returning the call. Hey, I just wanted to say on the Mullins trade, it's a good upgrade. I know, Sal, you like the trade, but you're saying it will be a home run if they got somebody like Roberts. Give Mullins reminds me of y'all guys were both like that. He's like a current Curtis Granderson to me. He's going to get you base steals. He's going to get you some home runs. You put him in the second spot, you drop Nemo down to the fifth slot. That extends the lineup. And I think Lindros see more fastballs.
I don't think he's hitting second.
Yeah, I would not do that. I'm not messing with the top of the order for Cedric Mullins.
Neither would I. Not yet.
And I don't think they're going to do that, Maurice. But look, he could be a proven pro. Now, the difference with Robert, Maurice, and thank you for the call. Appreciate you checking in. Difference with Robert, to me, BT, would have been the excitement of the upside. It's not a known. Like, what you get with Mullins, you know what you're getting. And there's a chance he could improve a little bit. And, you know, that jolt to be in the New York playoff. I mean, he's been an all-star in 2021. You're going back many years. But if you get that type of player, my God, that'd be great. With Robert, it was the potential of what he did more recently a couple years ago.
Let me ask you something that hasn't really been brought up. And I want you to answer this. I'll give you my opinion after. I want you to take the first swing at this. So now, you know, it's about options for both managers, and there's an abundance. Do you have great confidence that both Mendoza and Boone will handle these bullpen options the right way?
I do. I mean, I know it's easy to say no, but I do. For Mendoza, it's going to be different. Like, let's not pretend Boone hasn't had a loaded bullpen before. He has. This year's been the aberration. Yeah. But he's had plenty of loaded bullpens before.
Well, but last year Holmes broke down. He had to go to Weaver. Didn't have Devin Williams. You know, like.
Oh, he screwed up the Cortez thing in a postseason. Like,
absolutely. Loizaga was hurt last year.
Here's the thing. I think Boone. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't thinking about coming up with some lanes joke and bowling joke. Like, all these relievers now, Boone's going to be happy because he could go bowling plenty of times with all the different lanes he's going to be able to use these guys with. So I think he manages more by the. I can't, because he manages more by the book with this. So they're loaded. He has options, and ultimately it's going to come down to how effective those guys are. I don't think Boone will be a detriment to the Yankees. I also think that Mendy manages more with the gut, and it's going to be kind of new for him, BT. He's not, like, Mendy's new at this. He hasn't had a loaded bullpen like this.
It's one of the reasons I'm asking.
Yeah,
yep.
but I do trust them. I trust both these guys. I don't think that they will prevent either team from maximizing their ability, if that makes sense.
It does, and I agree with you. I would say the one thing I'm not sure about, I know what he said yesterday, and I know what he did last year, so maybe I need to be a little bit more confident that Boone would do it. But if you see, you know, let's say of the next 4 outings, Devin Williams is a little, like the other night, giving up that 2-run bomb.
No, Bednar should be the closer. I would do that now anyway.
But do you think, well, he's not doing it now,
Yeah.
but do you think he'll do it before it's too late?
Yeah, I think eventually he will. Now, look, maybe Duvall comes here and he's lights out, and then he make him the closer. If I'm Boone, I would have said what I said yesterday. Why hurt Williams, and why commit to anything now? Let's see how it plays out. But, yeah, I don't think that they're going to be afraid to pull the trigger on a switch. Or if Weaver finds it again, I would bet that either Bednar or Duvall end up the closers for the Yanks.
Oh, man, Bednar was sent down to the minors for a minute this year.
Well, so I know, but he's been lights out recently.
I know.
And I think Duvall was the same thing. I don't know about this year, but at one point I was reading yesterday that, you know, he got moved down to so many players, like you said. Hey, Bird's got nasty stuff. I don't think he's going to be a closer. It's nice to have options, and maybe that could be a knock on it. Like if you had to say, well, at least the Mets know who their closer is with Diaz. Nice to have Helsley as insurance. I don't know. I mean, the Yankees bullpen is loaded up. Does it really matter right now who their closer is? It matters come postseason.
No, it doesn't matter now. I'm just asking, you know, because Devin Williams says, listen, it's not Mariano going out there or Chapman years ago where you know the game's over. So we'll see where that goes, and that's gonna resolve itself. I think Aaron will make the right move. Would you rather have a surplus of starting pitchers, or which neither team has, or a surplus of relievers, which both teams have?
I want it this way. This is why I'm satisfied with, satisfied is the good way to put it, with what the Mets and Yankees did. Bare minimum, they had to load up the bullpens. They did. Maybe the Yankees did it even better than we thought they were going to do it. Maybe they had to. But the Mets needed at least 2 arms, and they ended up getting 3. The Yankees needed at least 2 arms. They ended up getting 3. So, yes, I'm satisfied with this. And I'd prefer this overloading up in the rotation. BT and Sal on the Fan. Come back, more of your calls. Got to get into the Terry McLaurin stuff and Mikal Bridges as well. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Guys, by now you've heard me talk about Collars & Co., makers of the dress collar polo. They've already sold over 1 million of these amazing shirts. Well, Collars & Co. just came out with a new Maverick Performance Blazer. This blazer is sharp and wrinkle resistant, so you can travel anywhere with it. Just throw it in your bag, and it will remain wrinkle-free. It even comes with security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So visit collarsandco.com and check them out today.
The Yankees meet up with the Marlins, 7:10 tonight.
Giddy up, baby. Giddy up. God, it's a home run.
Driven by Jeep.
That was an extraordinary play.
Susan Waldman and Dave Sims call all the play-by-play on the Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's stepping into a world that's exciting. With a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires. Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
We've got more sports talk coming up on the Fan.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
And now, breaking news. You leaving me. Your state-of-the-art 65-inch 4K smart television. For going out with friends and not staying in to watch TV. Sources confirm that is a terrible decision. Picture-in-picture mode. Do your friends have that? Can they simultaneously stream live sports and extreme baking shows? How about I make everything sepia? Whatever you want, I'll do it. Just don't put me on standby.
Don't listen to your TV. Head out with your friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Now at Verizon, lock in our low price, plus free roaming included in Puerto Rico. Discover the best mofongo. Post that perfect sunset on La Isla and save big with Verizon while you do it. Switch and get 4 lines for just $30 per line. See? Just $30 per month with unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Plus calls, texts, and data in Puerto Rico included, so you can use your phone sin problema. Stop by your New York Verizon store today. For unlimited welcome in times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Hey, it's Jerry Recco. If you're facing hair loss like I am, I would like to share my journey at Great Many, New York City's cutting-edge hair growth studio. Looking to regrow your hair safely and effectively? Forget those risky pills with scary side effects and costly trips to Turkey. At Great Many, they use PRP, regenerative medicine trusted by pro athletes for recovery. It's a natural, non-surgical solution that really works. Check out my journey and visit greatmany.com/fan to learn more and save $200 today. Don't hesitate. Take action now like I have. Go to greatmany.com/fan to book your treatment or get a free consultation.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Fan, back to these calls. I know you guys are juiced up. 888-808-1019. But we'll get back to them. Yankee and Mets trade deadline reaction. We'll squeeze in the Mikal Bridges extension. Obviously, there's a target out there now for the Jets, if they want, with McLaurin, who said, get me out of the Commanders situation. So we'll get to that all coming up. Time for the meat of the order for the Yankees yesterday in a rain-soaked win. The first 6 hitters had hits. That's nice. So Rice, obviously, a big 3-run homer. Goldschmidt had a hit as well. Bellinger a hit. Couple of RBIs for Stanton, home run. Jazz Chisholm 1 for 3. So, for the most part, middle of the order doing their job. Yesterday, Yankees get the win, looking for more down in Miami against a bad Marlins team. So you would imagine the stats could get nice, you would hope, next couple of days. All right, when you're looking for the meat for your order, choose Boar's Head, committed to craft since 1905.
All right, BT, let's get in some calls here. 888-808-1019, Mets, Yankees, trade deadline stuff. Chris is calling from Staten Island. What's up, Chris?
What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Chris.
I'm doing well. So just one quick point for Sal and then one for BT, if I can. So, Sal, I think you couldn't be more right about Cashman. I think when you Cashman and you say we're going to go to town to New York sports fans and then have a deadline with this, you left stuff off the table. You know,
well, give me the move specifically you wanted Cashman to make.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a move that I didn't mind. Quan, to be honest with you, I just don't know really what they were asking for him, so I can't blame Cashman on that.
I'll tell you I don't know what they were asking for, but I heard that the Yankees were in on Quan and, quote, the asking price was too high. So I don't know what it was specifically. Heyman reported that the Marlins wanted Spencer Jones or Lombard Jr. for Alcantara, and the only thing we know about Quan was that the Guardians would have taken the number 3 prospect overall from San Diego, but they instead dealt him for Mason Miller. So you could put together an idea, but that's what the asking price was roughly.
Yeah, and personally, I probably wouldn't have done that, so I'm okay with it. I think it's more when you look at, like, Seattle got Suarez without giving up a top 10 prospect, and then we gave up a top 10 prospect for Bird. You know, I just think there could have been something we could have done. Now, Suarez, the market may have been, shortened on him because, there were third basemen going off the board and being traded, obviously McMahon. But I just think there was stuff, again, to that caller's point, I felt like there should have been a home run and we missed it, right? Or a knockout somewhere. And then I think from a Mets perspective, Mullins is very comparable to McMahon, I think, as a pickup. Nice player. I think the eye test is better than his stats. Lifelong guy with a former team and a good chance to produce with a change of scenery, perhaps. So,
well, I think you'd have to give Mullins a little bit of the edge there. I mean, McMahon's had some rough, low-average seasons, but I get what you're saying. Thanks for the call. Where, if you look at them and, forget about their situations, bad Orioles team, bad Rockies team forever, and you just look at, like, what they do well, Mullins is a really good center fielder. McMahon's an elite third baseman. Both have pop. Mullins could run. Both are developed enough and in their prime where you don't think, or maybe slightly past their prime in Mullins' case. But I don't know that there's much of a higher ceiling, but the good thing is the floor it's not like you're throwing Vivas out there or Taylor who's going to hit, have an OPS of 570 in center field for a team trying to win a World Series.
Right, and for me, it's going to get overlooked. We mentioned it before. The Caballero addition, I love it.
Me too.
You could talk about Rosario and McMahon, okay, sure, up third base, or Slater, whatever, right-handed bat to complement the outfield there, maybe with Dominguez specifically in the platoon. But Caballero, a guy like that who could play anywhere and be the threat that he is on the base pads, that could be a weapon come postseason time that could win you some ball games. So I love that addition. Obviously, we know the importance of the bullpen, but I love that addition.
He leads baseball in steals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love guys like that. We've talked about this before. Like for years, what was the kid's name? Gore, where he was all over the place. I think the Mets had him.
Gore. Well, you had Dave Roberts doing it for the Red Sox against the Yankees in the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure that I forget the hell the kid's name. Terrence Gore? No,
not Terrence.
No. Maybe it was it Terrence Gore, Hoff? Yeah, it was Terrence Gore.
Okay.
Which just all he could do was run. But to me, I like that in the postseason, and that's why I like Acuna. Now, I don't know if he's going to make the cut here. As a matter of fact, I probably think that he would be the first one to go now with the Mets' new roster. They're going to probably send Acuna down, but I would say in the postseason, I would value having Acuna more on the roster than I would Beatty, because I'd value that speed late in a game where you need to steal a base and get in scoring position, steal a run, and that defense that he has versus Beatty's like, okay, yeah, he could be an okay bat, and he's an okay versatile piece, but I'd value that legit speed and defense that can help you win games in the postseason.
So are you, I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, what are you getting on Soto's foot? I mean, do you think he plays tonight? Where are we with this?
I have not heard anything about it, which makes me think that he's going to be okay and in the lineup today.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, it hasn't been, I have not heard that yesterday. Now, obviously, a lot was going on with the deadline. I would bet Soto's going to be, and now, dude, if he's not, I mean, if there's any kind of issue with Soto, forget the division and you hold on for dear life for the playoffs. I think he'll be okay, though. Elvis is calling from Orange, Connecticut. What's up, Elvis?
How you doing, guys? You guys got the best show. Hey, before I bring up my point about Cedric Mullins, I'll give you an easy move the Yankees could do. What are they waiting for to bring up Spencer Jones? What does the guy have to do?
You can't be going.
I know, Brandon. I don't want to get you going with Sal. But, I mean, really, what does he have to do to bring him up? It's insane. All right, getting to Cedric Mullins. Is Tyrone Taylor still on the team?
Yes.
So what are they going to do? Platoon him?
No, Taylor's not going to play. He's going to be a bench player.
That's right.
He'll play on occasion.
He better not play. Like never. She's never put him. That guy should be full-time every single day, Cedric Mullins.
He's going to be.
I think he's going. Sorry to cut you off there. Obviously, you had a bad line.
Yep.
I think he's going to be. Now, my question yesterday, I was trying to figure this out and look at, okay, well, who's going? And that's what I was saying, BT. Like, for years, I was like, oh, my God, this guy should go, that guy should go, this guy should go. And now it's like, well, what are they going to do with this roster here? Because you could make an argument that they should send Beatty down. Like, everybody looks at it. Or remember, there was a thought about Mauricio. Now, Winker was put on the 60-day IL, so he's ways away. But what if Winker comes back? Now it's not only Mullins coming in, it's Winker coming back, so who's going to go? I think that they're set with Mauricio as the third baseman, Vientos as a DH. I don't think they're going to give up on Marte and his veteran presence and what he could do from the right-handed side.
Yep.
They like the versatility right now of Beatty probably being a lefty to balance some of that out, which makes me think Acuna is expendable. But then what happens when Winker comes back? Probably Beatty would be the first one to go. I think that Tyrone Taylor is going to be the fourth outfielder for this team.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah. I mean, listen, you're going to see a situation possibly now. It depends upon where Nimmo would come up in the batting order, what the score is. And I know that Cedric's playing center and Taylor plays there as well. But, if you're up 6-2 and it's the 8th inning and Nimmo already hit whatever, you put Tyrone Taylor in left field. All right, take a seat, Brandon. You're good. See you tomorrow.
That's exactly right. It's a useful player. That's his strength. You don't need to see him get plenty of at-bats, but you need to see him be in the outfield. There's certainly, at the very least, a defensive replacement late. Mickey is calling from Walcott, Connecticut. What's up, Mickey?
Hey, guys. Hey, thank you for taking my call, as always. Hey, so I got a quick wrestling point I want to make, and then I'm definitely going to talk about the Mets. Real quick, I'm not a big wrestling fan myself, I got to be honest with you. And I haven't watched wrestling since, like, the Mankind era and Sting and all that stuff. But I love the interviews you guys have done, because one thing I am is a business person, and I love learning about business and, the business insight and how things tick behind the scenes. And all these interviews have been amazing when you're with the questions you guys have been asking and all of the above. It's been great.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that, Mickey, because it's not just about wrestling. I know that that's what they're here to promote and that's what they do, but there's a lot. They're fascinating. To me, it is fascinating, so I love it, BT. I know you and I both love it and get a kick out of it, especially when you can tie in the sports stuff with it.
Yeah, and Mickey, real quick, too, and we're glad you're enjoying this stuff. We're not going to wrestle you to death here, but, some pertinent stuff with Hulk passing and a big event coming up this weekend. Like, you think about our conventional sports teams, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, we talk about chemistry, like does Cat fit with Brunson, A-Rod and Jeter back in the day? Like, the chemistry matters in sports. I never really, up until some of these documentaries and some other, things I've discovered, I never really thought about like the backstage continuity of the wrestling roster. Who's not getting the push? Who's getting pushed over? It's pretty fascinating stuff, the way they juggle that. Triple H doing a good job, and Vince was the man for 3-4 decades. So it is very interesting stuff.
Absolutely. Now, to get into my Mets point, so if I had to grade the trades that they made, I would say it's a B. I wouldn't say A unless, we make it to the playoffs, and I'd be like, hey, maybe we underrated it. Who knows? But the one thing that kind of ticked me off is the fact that we didn't get a starting pitcher. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the price was that all these prices are very high for starting pitching, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not about what we didn't get. It's about what I hope he does next. Because I can't have Stearns sitting on his hands and letting all these guys that we have that could be starters in AA and AAA not coming up like Jonathan. I would have loved them to make those moves to bring them up early so you can see what you have before trade deadline. But now you put your butt against the wall. And now you got to see what's out there. Because I'm sorry, I don't trust Minaya. I know he had a couple rocky starts and then maybe that one good one. Don't trust him. Yeah. I still don't know what I'm getting out of this guy. What's his name? That used to be
Senga?
I'm blanking out for a second.
Senga?
No, not Senga.
Holmes.
Holmes. I'm still not sure what I feel about Holmes. I think I do think he's a great pitcher, but at the end of the day, I think he's just being overworked for what what
Mickey,
his standard
just
was.
Just because you don't know doesn't mean that they don't know. And thank you for the call. Good stuff. As a matter of fact, yesterday, BT, I'm sure you saw this. When Stearns talked to the media, there was talk about Noah McLean specifically. He didn't mention Tong. He did mention, I think, younger guys, but McLean was the one name that I saw that could be used as weapons down the stretch. However they want to, if they need a starter or they feel like somebody gets hurt or they need a starter for whatever reason, bring one of them up, and then who knows what happens in the postseason. But they believe at least one or two of those guys, maybe it's Sproat, maybe it's McLean, would be ready to contribute if necessary down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Jabba burst on the scene. There's been some other examples over the years. Starters, relievers. I'm with you on that. And the one thing, too, and listen, this is a delicate balance. It's hard to do. But now, and I'm going to incorporate both teams. Both teams have done this, at least on paper, and the chance to execute the next move, whether it's this winter or next middle of the season. So you want to win games. You want to be competitive. You want to have a chance to at least, make a run for the World Series. Check. Both teams have that. All right, I get it. Different levels of confidence, imperfect, but both teams are good. Everybody knows that unless you're a moron. I don't know what to both teams are good. So the other thing that both teams have right now, and again, you know how I feel about Jones and obviously Lombard more, and the Mets with some of their young pitchers and some other players as well. Both teams have enough highly thought of and highly sought after young players who are in the minors where, I'm just throwing a name, I know we signed an extension, but just say, Witt says, get me out of Kansas City. And now all of a sudden, say in a year or two, and Lindor is a year or two older, and he's losing some range, or some stud center fielder that I'm not even thinking about right now says, get me out of wherever. They also have the ability to pounce or a starting pitcher with a package that's going to be very attractive. It doesn't guarantee anything, but when you look at the check marks of each team, are they competitive? Are they deep? Do they have players that other teams value? Yeah. I mean, they're doing good stuff.
And the Yankees have always done that, and now the Mets are at the table. And I think that that's the biggest thing from a Mets perspective. We could talk about it individually, each team at this deadline specific to this year, but what the Yankees have been able to build has been sustained success. To what degree? They haven't won a World Series since 2009, but still one of the more sustained, successful teams that the sport has had over 30 years.
No question.
The Mets believe now that they are at the beginning of the sustained run. And you could feel it, BT. There's a solid foundation there. It's been put in place since Cohen took over ownership. Mm-hmm. It's been building its way up, but now with Stearns and Cohen together and what that front office has done and what, the way that they invested not only in the offseason and free agents, but also the way that they've done in the minor leagues, the lower levels, the Mets have finally entered the conversation. Now they just have to have the results. Remember, they didn't even make the they haven't made the postseason twice since, whatever it was, 2015 and 16. We talked about only twice in their history. So they're just getting to a point where we can now trust that they could be a sustained contender.
Listen, they've entered the chat room. Yeah. There's no doubt. And look, I look at it this way, too. Now, I think when you look at the 30-year run for the Yankees, maybe some younger fans or maybe some fringe baseball fans that maybe forget, and I'm not taking a shot at those people, but maybe they're just not as into it as we are and some others. And they're like, well, they're the Yankees. It's a rite of passage. They had Mantle, they had Reggie, of course they're going to find their way. Okay, maybe you can gravitate to that notion, but if you lived it and you look at how broken the Yankees were, it's going back a million years ago, obviously, coinciding with this 30-year amazing run of a lot of great stuff. But, I mean, their minor league system was empty. The stadium was empty. Their best player's back was on borrowed time. They had no pitching. Their owner was suspended. Their manager stunk. They were the guy pitches a no-hitter and they lose. Like, that actually happened with Andy Hawkins in 90 or 91 against the White Sox. Look it up, young people, right?
Yeah.
So I say that, not that, the Mets haven't had good seasons, but like the Mets' low point clearly parallels the Yankees' low point. Now, the Mets' low points has been much more pronounced in terms of length, but yeah, I think that the Mets, and I've said this to you, you got the owner. Check. You've got the manager. I'm not saying Mendoza's perfect, but he's good. Check. You got some star players. Check. You got a minor league system. Check.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's going to equate to 30 years of amazing baseball, but it ain't going to be what it used to be. That I could promise you.
It has been a frustrating battle from a Mets fan perspective, yelling for years, go do this, you need to do that, you need to do that. It's different now. Now they have loaded up their roster. Whether they win the World Series or not, who the hell knows? Some of it's luck, whatever it may be. Some of it's obviously going to be on the player. Most of it's going to be on the players to perform in the postseason. But the front office, the owner, the president, everybody in the front office did what they needed to do to put this organization in a position to go out there and win a World Series. And that is at least refreshing that finally that level of the conversation is over. Now it's going to be on Lindor, Soto, Alonso.
Big boy time.
That's exactly
big boy time.
Right. That's what I like, BT. Now let's get on the big boys who are making the big money.
Yeah.
They got to go out there and do their jobs. And if they do, maybe we get a Subway Series. If they don't.
That would be sad. By the way, Judge has to do his job.
Well, yeah, same thing, right.
Big boy time. Bellinger, all those things. The other thing, too, is like, okay, so it's comforting that the Mets are where they are now. But even if you don't get to the World Series this year, or you get there and you lose, most sensible, pragmatic Met fans, I don't mean the deranged 5% lunatics who, like, I love Frank the Tank, but they're never going to win. And I say that in a good way about Frank. Yeah, I laugh at his stuff sometimes. But, at least Met fans should be emboldened and galvanized by this very obvious thought. If you don't win it this year, you're going to have a chance to win it next year.
Right, that's exactly
If you don't win it next year, maybe you win it. Like you are on a path to have a chance to compete every year.
BT and Sal on the Fan Warrior calls. We come back. We'll get to the McLaurin Jet stuff. We'll get to the Mikal Bridges stuff with the Knicks as well. 888-808-1019.
It's Boomer and Gio. Mornings on the Fan. 1019 FM.
That's the Yankee way. They may not go all the way. They wanted a World Series last year. And, what they were missing, they're missing Juan Soto from last year's team.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh claims Lamar Jackson is a, quote, historically great passer, but not everyone's convinced. Sure, Jackson has impressive regular season stats, but his 3-5 playoff record and below-average postseason passer rating raise real doubts. Critics argue that until Jackson delivers in the playoffs, talk of him being one of the all-time great passers may be premature. I'm Maggie Gray.
Hi, welcome to IKEA.
This is my college campus.
Correct, but I see you're on IKEA.com ordering some college items.
My daughter's room is pretty bare. We need a lamp, some comfy pillows, her favorite stuffy.
Dad! With pickup options, we've got what you need to conveniently order IKEA. Literally anywhere.
Sweet. More time for gaming.
And studying. Wait, where are you going now?
Have to show the Ultimate Frisbee team how easy it is to order from IKEA. Get IKEA whenever, wherever, however you want. Choose from thousands of pickup locations, affordable delivery options, and more.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets, but I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there. To learn more, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
If you're looking for a great price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire, where you always get the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires. But it doesn't end there, because Town Fair Tire gives you free services for the life of your Falcon tires. More free services than any other tire dealer. That's why we say nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal, and I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Sal Licata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on The Fan.
Ready to score the biggest deal in breakfast? It's waiting for you at Dunkin'. Dunkin' is serving up the ultimate $5 meal deal. Get 1 premium hot or iced coffee and any 2 delicious wake-up wrap sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're fueling up for a big day or keeping it casual, this deal has you covered. A smooth, bold Dunkin' coffee paired with 2 warm, tasty wake-up wraps? Now that's what we call a big deal. Excludes espresso and cold brewed beverages. Modifications may be an additional charge. Participation may vary. Limited time offer cannot be combined with offers. Exclusion and terms apply.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it. Call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support. New Jersey's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here 24/7 for you or someone you love, with trained counselors who listen and care without judgment. You matter. Remember New Jersey's 988. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims. The home of Yankees radio. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT, tell back on the Fan. All right, BT, I heard you talking about this. Actually, you mentioned it on the air, but I heard it more off the air when you and Hop going back and forth a little bit. Yep. You're excited about the idea of possibly adding McLaurin from a Jets perspective?
Well, I wanted to have the conversation with you. I'm intrigued by the possibilities here. So obviously he wants out of Washington. All right, so everybody knows that. So once you look at teams that would be in the market for his services, you think there'd be a lot, but not everybody's under the cap. Like the Raiders have some money, the Chargers have some money, the Niners have some money, maybe some other teams can manipulate their salary cap, cut guys, restructure, whatever. So I'm sure it's longer than that list that I'm presenting. What's interesting to me about McLaurin, right? Number one, he's awesome. Everybody knows that. Number two, he's put up big numbers outside of last year with horrendous quarterback play. So while Justin Fields is not going to be horrendous, it's not like he's got a super, he's used to getting his plays being double teamed with average to subpar quarterback play. So that's appealing. And the other thing, too, now, obviously Fields went to Ohio State, didn't play with him there, but Garrett Wilson did for a minute. And the other thing, and this is what I really like, and the Jets have $30 million in cap space, so they could do it if they wanted to. The Jets passing game coordinator now, his name is Scott Turner, was the play caller from McLaurin in Washington. So, number one, do you have a need? Yeah, I would say that the Jets have a need opposite of Garrett Wilson. Maybe you don't have a $30 million appetite, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But you've got
in addition to paying Wilson would be the thing.
I know. I get it. I'm not saying it's easy, but that's why we'll flush through it.
Yeah.
So they've got a need, okay, on the other side, number one. Number two, you've got somebody who's going to be calling the plays who knows how to deploy him better than anybody in the Jets building right now because he already did it. Now, the question is not would he spend the money? He would. I think the real questions, and why don't you take the first stab at this, are the Jets going to throw the ball enough with Fields as a runner to justify bringing in, having two highly paid receivers, number one, and number two, are they too early in the Aaron Glenn, revamping of culture to take a massive swing like this?
Bingo.
What do you think?
That, to me, the second part is the biggest thing. Now, let me preface it by saying I love Terry McLaurin as a player. Also, I don't know if you need to pay the two wide receivers, especially where they're at in trying to build this thing back up. The third thing would be, look at McLaurin, a veteran. He was on a lot of losing teams with the Commanders, putting up big numbers. And now, just the team starting to become legit Super Bowl contenders, now he's being selfish and wants his money and wants out. That goes against everything that Aaron Glenn and Muji are trying to build here. So I love the player. I don't hate the fit. You would know more about the cap than I would. Obviously, I know it could fit, but then, okay, well, what happens next year if the Jets we don't know what this Jets team is. So maybe there's going to be a glaring need that we're all right, it was a nice building block, but now this is clearly what they need. Could it be a second receiver to complement Garrett Wilson? Could it be a defensive piece? I don't know. I just have a theory where I wouldn't want to pay two high-end receivers, especially in year one, and bringing in a guy who's unhappy with another organization to come to the Jets where Aaron Glenn has finally, it feels, cleaned up the mess here.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things. If this was year two of Aaron Glenn and we at least had an early blueprint of what he wants to do, and maybe more specifically how they respond to cleaning up the penalties, meaning they're more ready to win, I think I'd be all over.
Right.
That's number one. I'm gonna defend him and push back on. And I hear you. I know what you're saying. Like, wow. I mean, the Commanders finally got good. This guy wants out. What are we dealing with? Is he a petulant Celtic?
Right,
No,
right.
Okay, that's logical. I hear you. But to me, in the NFL, with non-guaranteed contracts and the callous nature of how these guys get paid, I don't begrudge any player at any point in any situation flexing whatever leverage or utilizing whatever leverage they might have. So that doesn't concern me as much as it might concern you. What does really concern me is how I think the Jets want to play this year moving forward with Aaron Glenn and if Justin Fields is around for a while. Now, I've said a couple times this summer, I think the Jets are going to try to run the ball, maybe a 60-40 split, 60 pass, 40 run, maybe some deviation of that, but much more run-centric than pass because that's what Fields does. And if you're going to do that, try to, because sometimes you're going to be down 17-3, you got to abandon the run, throw the ball, etc. Football happens. But if you're going to look to run the ball, is it worth that kind of money? I'm not worried about the other stuff, like he's a malcontent. The money to have him get 4 targets a game.
Well, let me ask you, though. Yeah. How do we know what the Jets need? I want to use the cap space, but I don't know if it's best to spend it on a second wide receiver. Maybe if everything else, if everybody else does their job and the defense is sound and solid and the offensive line can protect and they can run the football, then, yeah, maybe it would be worth it. But I don't know because we haven't seen what this team's going to look like at all yet.
Yeah, I get it. That's why I said if it was year 2 of Aaron Glenn, who's an Aaron Glenn kind of player and who's not, I don't know. I mean, I've got some guesses, and I think we all do, but we'll find out, when the rubber...
by the way, to your point, BT, sorry, he's not a diva. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? The Jets right now have a great feel. No nonsense, no issues, no nothing. The polar opposite of what it's been for however many freaking years here. Like, the last thing I want to do is take somebody else's problem. I'm not saying he's a malcontent, and then we're going to say, well, he's going to get the contract, he's going to be happy. Oh, okay, maybe, but maybe not. And I like the idea of seeing what Glenn's going to build up first with this team and decide how Muji wants to best use that cap. They already spent on a wide receiver keeping Garrett Wilson. I don't know if I would do it again.
I would be much more reluctant. Again, I'm not saying I'm all in on this. First of all, you have the exploratory conversation. Are you definitely going to trade him? What do you want? And then you have a conversation with his agent. What are you looking for money-wise? Okay, then at least you get parameters. And if they loosely fit, well, now you take step 2. If step 1 is a no-go, it doesn't work out.
Right.
But because they paid Garrett Wilson and because they paid Sauce and because they've got a very young in Olu Fashanu, and his numbers were phenomenal before he got hurt, or I think a really good left tackle. Tippmann's making peanuts. He's a good player at center. I think their O-line's intact. Mason Taylor's opening up a lot of eyes. I know this is just early camp talk, but we're in early camp talk, so it is what it is. Mason Taylor, they finally have, I think, a vertical down the seam, cheap, explosive matchup problem from the tight end spot. So I don't think there's a ton of holes to fit. Q's been paid. Quincy's been paid. The running backs are young. Breece Hall's probably gone after this year. You're not going to pay him. I wouldn't do it. And you got some other guys behind him, Braylon Allen, who are good and interesting and cheap. So I do think that they can manipulate the numbers. And by the way, and Tiki always says this, the money's fungible. Like, it might seem as I don't know if we could do this now. All you got to do next offseason, restructure, cut somebody you don't want, save $3 million here, save $2 million here, nickel and dime. All of a sudden, it's totally different financial situation.
Let me pull a BT here and ask you it this way. Why is Washington not paying him?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
You know what I'm saying? But you would always say that. In this case, I think it's a good one. Like, dude, they're trying to win here. They got a young quarterback. They had success. He's been their best receiver. Why are they paying him?
Well, I don't know the answer. It's a good question. It's a little disconcerting. I don't think I'm not there. I don't think it's all contractually based. I just don't think he's loving the organization. And, yeah, if they put a contract commensurate with, Jamar Chase or Garrett Wilson or whatever, he's probably going to be pretty happy pretty fast.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little deeper than that. Sometimes guys want to change the scenery. He's got a lot of Ohio State boys now in the building. Maybe he doesn't love the coaches. I don't know. But it's not enough to dissuade me from even from picking up the phone and saying, hey, Commanders, what's the deal? We might be interested.
BT and Sal on the Fan Warrior calls when we come back, 888-808-1019. Right now, let's get you updated. Here's Andrew Bogut.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm Andrew Bogish. Your Sports Flash is sponsored by Primo Brands, the official water sponsor of MLB, Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission, and by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Camilo Duvall to the Yankees, Tyler Rogers to the Mets. The Giants very much connected to our baseball scene right now. And now they're spending the weekend in Queens. First of 3 at 7:10 on Odyssey Mets Radio. David Peterson and Robbie Ray on the mound. The Giants sold those two relievers and others because they have fallen 6 games away from a wild card spot. The Yankees can show off their new toys in Miami, 7:10 here on The Fan. Aaron Glenn now says Quinnen Williams will miss a week or two after tweaking his calf in practice yesterday. More rave reviews of Abdul Carter from today's Giants practice. As the guys were just discussing, Commanders wideout Terry McLaurin has reportedly requested a trade, and Micah Parsons might ask the Cowboys for the same soon. According to The Athletic, both players want extensions. The animosity seems stronger in Dallas right now. Fan Weather is sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. WFAN congratulates Cars for Kids on 30 years of changing lives. Over 1 million cars donated, more than 100,000 kids helped. Be part of the legacy. Donate your car today at carsforkids.org and join over 1 million satisfied donors. It's 68 degrees and cloudy in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
This city lives and breathes sports. WFAN is where Yankees fans argue with Mets fans and Giants fans debate Jets fans. Live, loud, and daily. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
I'm Colonel Callahan of the New Jersey State Police. If you're caught driving impaired, you'll face hefty fines, a suspended license, and maybe even jail time. Worse yet, you might cause a crash that could devastate someone's life. Be responsible. Don't drive impaired. We are all counting on you.
Route 22 Toyota is serving up hot off the grill savings. Flip your current car into a new Toyota with incredible zero-down leases on the area's largest selection of new Toyota models. And for those on a diet, Route 22 Toyota has all the makes and models of budget-friendly used cars starting under $10,000. Plus, everyone drives this summer with their goal of 100% credit approval. So get them while they're hot. Hot off the grill savings, that is, at Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey. Offers for qualified buyers with primary lender approval. See dealer for details.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Some things are hard to commit to, like learning how to surf or saving for a family vacation. But one commitment that's easy, switching to Fios Home Internet with a 5-year price lock guarantee. That means 5 great summers of fast, reliable internet at the same low price. All with the Fios 1 gig internet plan. Plus no hidden fees or equipment charges. Call 1-833-VERIZON to switch today. Price guarantee applies to base monthly rate only for new and existing My Home customers.
Looking for the ultimate family day trip? American Dream has it all, and it's just minutes from Manhattan. Over 25 indoor attractions, plus hundreds of shopping and dining options. There's something for everyone. Book now. Your kids will thank you. AmericanDream.com.
Hi, we're Wren Kitchens. In our 50-year history, we've made and installed millions of quality kitchens, and now you can find us at the Home Depot across the tri-state area. With thousands of styles and colors to choose from, we offer a free home measurement service and expert design consultation. All of our kitchens are made in the U.S. and delivered directly to you and installed by our specialist fitters. We cut out the middleman to save you money. And with our flexible financing, you can spread the cost over 7 years. Come down to Wren Kitchens at the Home Depot now. Finance subject to credit approval. Offers may change. See website for more details.
Before you begin your road trip, ask yourself, do you really need 5 full suitcases? With the new 2026 Kia Sportage X-Pro's class-leading cargo space, you'll have room for what you need. Find out more at your local Kia dealer today. Keep the adventure going. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely and obey all traffic laws. Comparisons based on second row legroom and cargo space behind second row seats in the subcompact SUV class according to Kia segmentation as of June 2025.
Hey Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Sunday, September 7th for a special celebration. It's C.C. Sabathia, Replica Hall of Fame Plaque Day, and the first 40,000 guests in attendance will receive a C.C. Sabathia Replica Hall of Fame plaque presented by WFAN. Tickets are going fast. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today. Welcome back Hall of Famer C.C. Sabathia on Sunday, September 7th. Buy tickets now at Yankees.com/tickets.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
Brandon Tierney, Sawakata back on The Fan. We'll get back to the calls here, 888-808-1019. Been talking a lot of deadline, recapping that, and our thoughts after the moves the Mets and Yankees made. Obviously, just threw in Terry McLaurin just before the break. We'll get to the Mikal Bridges coming up in a little bit. One thing, BT, and I didn't even mention this before, and a lot of people have talked about it, and for me, it drives me nuts. I understand that having a player under control is valuable. It should not be the primary factor, or at least to me, it wouldn't be. My thing, like my checkpoint, is the player good? Can they help us win now? Not, yeah, he's okay, or, oh, he's under control, he's such and such age, whatever. Like, I'm not worried about the Mets got guys that are not under control beyond that, and I don't care. I think it's good. They helped out the bullpen. Whereas with the Yankees, okay, the guys are under control, but bullpens are fickle. Who the hell knows what these guys who are under control are going to be beyond this year? So I can't get caught up in the control aspect of it, at least me. While there might be some value in certain trades, I also don't think when it pertains to the bullpen that having somebody under control is a big deal.
I think it's a big deal when your current closer, number one, who hasn't been a perfect fit, is going to have his contract expire at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Yeah.
I think Cashman. Listen, I crush Cashman. You know that. Everybody, I crush him. But this, to the point where I'm almost like, I feel bad. I mean, not really, but a little bit. But like, if the Yankees aren't going to re-sign Devin Williams, so now they've got, he might even be the closer by the end of the season. We'll see. But now the Yankees have not one safeguard, but two in the event, flamethrowers, guys who have closed before, guys who have been very efficient before in terms of stats and are controllable. That's where it's more appealing to me. Like, I agree with you. Like, to me, controllability is more for the Marlins and the Guardians.
Right,
I don't want to hear about the Twins.
Right.
I don't want to hear about that stuff.
Well, think about it this way, BT. If Devin Williams were under control for next year and the Yankees made that trade to get him, we would have come on the air and everybody would be like, oh, it's great. They got their closer the next 2 years. They got him under control. And then look what happened. And that was one of the best closers in the league. Not somebody who was in the minors to start the year. So I'm not knocking Bednar. I think he's one of the best arms available. I said I would want the Mets to get him, so I'm certainly happy that the Yankees got him. So it's not a knock on him. I'm just saying that you just don't know, especially with relievers.
Yeah, no. And again, I'm pretty much with you here. But if it's like the Devin Williams situation, all right. And to me, it was a no-brainer. Like, we talk about Plan B, and I was pumped when they got him. Pete Alonso home run aside. I mean, his numbers have been minuscule for years. He's been phenomenal. But at least now, to me, I'm a big believer in strength in numbers. And I don't mean contract numbers. I mean, multiple capable bodies with proven track records where, all right, hey, one might bomb in New York. Devin Williams might go on a run that is amazing or awful, but at least now there's three options for this year if things go awry in certain spots with the closer spot or the closer position. And then next year, there's at least two. And that doesn't include, I don't know that they would do this, but you do have Garrett Cole coming back next year. Who knows? I mean, could the Yankees look at Cam Schlittler down the road as a 6'7" guy averaging 98.7 on his four-seam fastball with a pretty nasty cutter that he just developed and a pretty good, at least early on, a pretty good presence and fairly slow heartbeat for his kid just getting called up? Yeah, there's options, and they're not like cheap options or options like, all right, this guy was kind of a bum, but maybe I'm not knocking the Mets pitching lab. That's not my intention. But like the Yankees saying, well, this guy's been horrendous for 2 years, but he throws hard. Maybe we can fix him and he could be our closer. I mean, every guy that they brought in is an absolute horse.
Correct, which is what they needed to do. We talked about that yesterday before we signed off the air ahead of the deadline. Like, it can't just be one of those fixer-uppers. It's got to be a legit bona fide arm. I guess my issue is with the control aspect of it. It wouldn't matter to me. Where control would matter is if you're talking about giving up a big-time prospect, whether it's Vientos or Dominguez, whatever, pick a guy.
Yes.
Then I would value, like Quan. Well, he's under control. It's not just a rental, so it's more justifiable trading a big name like that because it's not just a rental. You have him under control.
If that's one of the barometers, but specific to this conversation, if that's the barometer, don't you think it's fair to say Cashman did better than Stearns? Because neither one gave up their top prospects, but the Yankees did get controllability with great arms. And the Mets got really good arms, too.
Because see, that's exactly my point. I'm glad you went there. I think the Mets got better arms. So I don't care if they're controllable or not. So you could value, or somebody could value, well, Bird may not be great or whatever, or Duvall may not be great, but they're controllable arms, or Bednar, whatever.
Yep.
But I don't care. I don't. In this spot, when you give up nothing for it, I want right now to win the World Series. Helsley is not under control. I think he was the best arm that was acquired by either New York team for the bullpen.
I think that's debatable, though. I do. I think if you were to poll all 30 teams, like say every team right now was on the cusp of a wild card and finances didn't matter, and instead of selling off like the Twins and these other horrible teams, every team had a green light to go for it. I think if you sat down all 30 GMs, I think you might have 15 of like, Helsley, Bernard. Like, I think it would be split enough to justify going either way.
Right, but even so, well, I would prefer Helsley and Rogers to the other three. Although, like I said, I like Bednar. I'd rather have Helsley. So I would not let control factor in, but especially in the bullpen. Because what good is it? If you had Devin Williams under control for next year, what good would that be? And who's to say that can't happen with the other guys that the Yankees brought in as well? So I guess with bullpen specifically, I would not value control.
Yeah, you can't say that. Again, I thought Devin Williams this year would have 40 saves, 35, 40 saves. And have an ERA of low mid twos at worst, and a whip of like 1.1. That's not happening right now. I get that. Listen, the volatility of the bullpen is the most unpredictable thing to predict in any baseball acquisition.
Which makes controllability less valuable.
Almost less important. Right. Why would you want to control somebody if they're not that good? Right. I get that, but that's where I go back to the strength in numbers. Neither one of the players that the Yankees acquired are making big bucks. So you've got multiple options, and both guys are around past this season.
Yeah, and bottom line, both teams have loaded up their bullpen now and should be fortified to go on a postseason run. 888-808-1019. Artie is in Rockland. What's up, Artie?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Listen, I got one question, and it's a question I wish I knew, and maybe you guys know. Before I ask you the question, I'm going to preface it by telling you I've called you before. I'm 75 years old. I played in the Bronx Federation League for the Cavaliers, the same team that Rod Carew was signed out of 4 years earlier.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
Ken Singleton played in that league.
Yep.
And I was a center fielder. I was an all-around center fielder, 5-tool. I was on the All-Star team.
Where's the question in here, Artie? We got a lot of facts from you there, which we appreciate. The baseball resume.
I was a center fielder. If anybody asked me to play left field, I'd strangle him and walk off the field. It's like asking Ozzie Smith to play second base. What was Dominguez like in the minors? Was he a butcher in center as he is sometimes in left?
No.
Was he a butcher?
No.
Then why won't they let him play? He's got speed. He's got more speed than anybody in baseball. He's the fastest runner. That's what I heard. He's the fastest runner.
Well, Artie.
You need for center field.
Hold on,
Artie. And left.
I got
Artie.
Yeah. Especially, thanks, buddy. Especially, that is pretty cool that's the same league that Rod Carew was signed out of, and Kenny Singleton was awesome coming up. I got you. All right, so the number one, left field, there's much more of a defensive premium in Yankee Stadium, which is incredibly spacious. So ideally, you would have a very good left fielder and a lights-out center fielder. The Yankees have a lights-out center fielder currently, whether it's Grisham or Bellinger. Now, when Bellinger plays left and Grisham is in center, you got both. When Dominguez is in the left and Grisham or Belly's in center, you don't. Now, it drives me nuts. And that's why it's not just about, he's 22 and he could run, although I think De La Cruz might be the fastest runner in baseball, but whatever. He's up there. He runs well. If I'm going to get the final determination on Dominguez, I have to put him at the right position. That's why I was saying that I would sell Grisham. That's why I was saying I would sell Goldschmidt, who's really cooling off, and I would put Bellinger at first base. All those things that I said 2 weeks ago that I was mocked for, which I stand by. I'm an intel believer. I like to collect information, both statistically and with my own eyes. And if I get the answer that's counter to what I was hoping to get, well, then I get rid of you. But I don't know. I haven't seen Dominguez butcher center field like he's butchered left field. So I would at least like to find out if he's going to butcher left or he's going to be good. And I believe he will be much better in center than in left.
Well, I guess it's not even a counter, but we've talked about this many times. Wouldn't they, like the people who actually makes these decisions? We talk about what we would do, but it's all, we're fans. Like we're having fun with it. It's all hypothetical. The people that actually do evaluate this stuff and make these decisions, they decided that Dominguez was not fit for center field for whatever reason and put him in left field for whatever reason, where we saw him dating back to last year not look very comfortable.
Yeah.
So Like, did we just not trust the Yankees? Which I'm fine with that. But is that where we're at? Like, why would the Yankees are trying to win games? They believe, as an organization, that Dominguez in left field is best for the organization. Yeah. I'd like to know why. I don't know if we get a specific on that, but obviously that's what they feel.
I don't agree with that, and they do feel that because look at the lineup pretty much every night when he plays. See, I think, and it was a good thing, but I think it was an unexpected thing, which I think clouded their judgment and their willingness to put Dominguez in center. Let's not forget how the season started. From day one, Grisham, along with Judge, he was their best player. He was banging home runs. We know he's great in the outfield. So, if he was hitting 190, 209, like he usually has, and he didn't have a lot of home runs, and then I think, I can't prove this, but maybe it would have just been Bellinger in center, and they still would have kept Dominguez in left. Who the hell knows? But I think they would have been much more open to saying, all right, the kid was a prospect. He's one of our best prospects as a center fielder. Grisham's, he's more of a fourth outfielder. Let's run the kid out in his natural position.
Yeah, I don't know, BT, but to me, that's a pretty big deal. If everything were firm and there was a solid foundation behind the development and the decision-making, then it would have been, hey, we're not going to pull the trigger, similar to what they're doing maybe with Spencer Jones. We're not going to pull the trigger until we know that he's ready to go and he is our center fielder. Like, that was the whole thought process. And that's not what ended up happening. So I don't love the... first of all, I don't love the lack of reps that Dominguez had in the minor leagues. I don't see the harm in keeping him down longer and seeing what you have, especially with the issues defensively, the limitations that they had defensively. So I don't know the entire thought process. Maybe Grisham played a factor, maybe it didn't. But if he were a legit center fielder, the way that we were told, the Martian this, the Martian that, then they would have brought him up at the right time and put him in center field and left him alone. Yep. When Derek Jeter came up, I wasn't like, well, let's move him to third and C.
Yep.
He's supposed to be shortstop. We're going to put him at third and C. Or put him at second. You know what I'm saying? Like
I do. And listen, you know this. I was having lunch with A-Rod yesterday, and we talked a lot about a lot of stuff. It was awesome. I had so much fun. What a great guy. By the way, big fan of the show.
Is that true?
Listens all the time.
Does he really?
He does. He even likes you.
What's
I'm like,
up,
you like him?
Well, yeah, my guy. Come on. Let's get him in studio.
Yeah. I said, wait, we're talking about the same Sal? You like him? he actually loves the show. He listens. He's probably listening right now. Okay. And, of course, I asked about, the Jeter stuff and the move to third base. And I only bring that up, not to say that I had lunch with Alex, but it's pertinent to the conversation where, in center field, Grisham was not the equivalent of Jeter at shortstop. So, listen, Alex wanted to be a Yankee. Jeter was the man, captain, Hall of Famer. And Alex said, all right, if this is going to happen, I'm going to have to move myself, 50 feet to the right, play some third base, which he did very, very well. Whereas with Grisham, he's got no equity here. I know he's a very good fielder, but the reluctance of the Yankees to give Jason Dominguez any runway in center is baffling. But I'll tell you this, and this is one of the reasons why I said I would trade Grisham. All right, and they didn't, and that's fine. I'm not going to beat that to a bloody pulp. But part of my rationale was this, and it was fortified by the fact that they didn't trade Jones, didn't trade Dominguez, and now Bellinger could opt out. I think the Yankees are going to go bonkers to re-sign him. He strikes me as a lifelong Yankee the rest of the way. He's just a perfect fit, so I think he's going to stay here. But the Yankees' design the next couple of years is to have an outfield of Judge, of Bellinger, and then I believe the best equivalent of either Jones or Dominguez, or Bellinger full-time first base, maybe a little Ben Rice as well, and then the outfield of whichever one, of Jones, Dominguez, and Judge. So they are telling us in their moves, even though Dominguez is in the wrong position, but they're telling us their convictions by not trading those guys. Now, if they don't start next year with a Jones, Dominguez, Judge combo of something, well, then I'll say, well, okay, that's a little inconsistent. You didn't trade any of these guys to try to win a World Series this year, so maybe it's a little flawed and inconsistent. But right now, I get what they're doing, and right now, today, I agree with what they're doing.
All right, so I have a couple questions for you here. You had lunch with A-Ron?
I did.
And I'm going to call BS on either him.
BS?
No, I'm calling BS on him. He's a fan of the show?
Loves it.
What was my invite, A-Rod? I mean, what am I, chopped liver here? That's number one.
All right.
Number two, J-Lo come up?
She did. She did. No, not in a way like, listen, it
Who
was
brought her up? You did?
Do you think that I was not going to? We were there 2.5 hours. I'm not going to ask about J-Lo.
2.5 hours? Wow.
I did. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
more than lunch. I mean, that's a nice hangout with A-Rod.
I got news for you. If I was there 3.5 hours, I would have got to Kate Hudson.
Yeah. Right. Tori Wilson was going to be my next question.
yeah. And no, he was very complimentary of her, obviously. He's just like the way this guy talks about baseball, and we talked a lot about Volpe and the inconsistencies throwing
What
the
does
ball.
he think? Send him down or what? What's he saying?
No, he didn't say send him down. He said he actually agreed with me. Maybe sit him for a day or two. He said, I see this, but when I say it, it's not the same when A-Rod says it, obviously. He's just laying back on the ball, and then he's trying to rush. He said, if I had, he said he wasn't so bold or brazen to say I'd fix him in 30 minutes. He didn't say that. What Met didn't?
Scott
was it Ali
Kazmir.
Perez?
No, not Kazmir. Victor Zambrano.
Yes, with Rick Peterson, right?
Rick Peterson, yeah, I can fix him in 30 seconds, whatever it was.
I think it was 30 minutes. He didn't say that, but what he did say specific to fixing him, he said, I get him on the field, right? And when nobody's I'd get him out there at 10 o'clock in the morning. No one sees, no cameras, no report, nothing. And I would have him attack the baseball and get his momentum going to first base. Here's my challenge for Yankee fans and baseball fans watching Volpe the rest of the season. If he stops laying back he's catching a lot of balls on his heels. If he stops laying back and starts attacking it and going to first base, not only as he catches it, but as he releases the ball, he's on the way to being fixed. If he doesn't, he's not on the way to being fixed.
Yeah, it sounds to me like a minor league issue. Like this should not be happening at the big league level. I'm serious. It shouldn't be happening at the big league level trying to win a World Series.
Yeah,
I don't care what you or A-Rod says, and you can tell him I said that.
Well, he's listening, so you tell him.
Where's
you
the
just
invite, A-Rod? I mean, invite BT hanging out for 2.5 hours. I'm chopped liver. You like the show? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, we'll get you there. Let me ask you this. So,
I'm busy. Sorry. Yeah.
If you were there instead of me, I did ask about J-Lo. He said only nice things.
Right, I don't need to know about Volpe. I want more to know about J-Lo and Tori Hudson.
Trust me.
Excuse me, Tori Wilson.
Yeah. There's a long list.
I was in a movie once where BT. I saw the movie 42. And I wish I would have remembered this before you were going. I would have told you to ask him about this.
Go ahead.
I saw the movie 42 with A-Rod and Tori Wilson. And I remember being in the urinal afterward with A-Rod. Now, I didn't say anything to him, and this was years ago, because we were both on the Upper West Side. It was at the Upper West Side, the Lincoln Center Theater, that big theater there?
Yeah, been there a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great...
That's where I saw The Wrestler, by the way.
It is a great theater. It's my favorite movie theater ever. But
it's a good one.
It's a great one. They always do premieres there and everything.
Yeah.
I was in the same theater, same showing of 42 with A-Rod and Tori Wilson many years ago.
Did you say hi to him?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
I was like, I didn't want to say anything. I'm trying to think of what year that movie came out.
I was going to ask you, what
could
year?
Could that have been when he was playing? Can you guys look up when 42 came out? It had to be, 2012-ish or 13 was when I was living in the city.
So let me ask you this, though, Sal.
Yeah.
If you're now, by the way, I couldn't wait, for the first 30 minutes, past the pleasantries to start asking the other questions. If you're sitting down with him for a couple of hours instead of me, and you could ask him anything, what would you have asked him?
I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I'd probably start with the Jeter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the PED Francesa stuff. Like, you came in studio, you lied to Francesa's face.
He's good friends. He talks to Mike pretty often, actually.
Oh, so do I. So we have something in common. Hey, maybe a little foursome. Me, you, Mike, and A-Rod out on the golf course.
It's a power foursome. You and I will be the worst golfers. Well, yeah.
No, Mike is good.
Golfers here.
I don't know about A-Rod.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good dude. When he is still jacked. Like I'm fairly big, 6'2", 220. This guy makes me look like a kicker.
What was the first thing you hit him with?
Honestly, he was asking me questions.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's why I find them so interesting. He's like, how'd you get into this? And, what do you do on a day where the thoughts aren't flowing? I said, well, listen, when the thoughts aren't flowing, me and Sal start yelling at each other, and we make a show out of it.
What do we do? A-Rod, can we start burying guys like you? That's what we do. Thoughts aren't flowing. What's A-Rod? He's in a slump. He stinks. Come on, what's wrong with this guy? BT and Sal Show, All the Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of your calls. Would you say, Dove, 2013? 2013 for that movie 42, BT.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where you were at that point, but yeah,
2013, I had just come back from San Francisco.
You've seen the movie, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I just came back to launch CBS Sports Radio. Yeah,
I was back. So you were here, yeah.
I was back.
I remember that. I wish I would remember when you mentioned that you were going to launch them. All right, we'll get back to the calls on the other side, 888-808-1019. Also, Mikal Bridges, we haven't touched on that, his contract extension, so we'll do that when we return.
Talk Yankees trades, Mets stats, Giants defense, and Jets prospects. All in one place. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
I'm Michael Jenkins, and you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. I'm taking the Padres on the money line against the Cardinals. The Pods are all in on this season and the hottest team in baseball right now. Winners of 5 in a row. Nick Pivetta is on the mound for San Diego, 10-3 with a 2.81 ERA. But at home, he's a perfect 6-0 with a 2.07 ERA. We expect a huge outing from him and for the Padres win streak to continue. Take San Diego on the money line. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then, with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Getting
Engaged will be one of the most exciting times of your life, and the winning team at London Jewelers is there to help you pop the big question. They have the cutting-edge technology and trained professionals at London Jewelers to help you select a ring from their beautiful 2x London collection, or even design the absolute perfect ring to fit within everyone's budget. So whether you're starting out or starting over, why not let the engagement experts at London Jewelers help you out? You could visit London Jewelers at any one of their 6 locations, including the Americana Manhasset and the Ball at Short Hills.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. And I mean absolutely nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
The More to Move You summer sales event is on at Open Road Mazda of Morristown and Open Road Mazda of East Brunswick. Don't miss exceptional offers on our most popular models. The versatile 2025 Mazda CX-5 is just $229 per month for 33 months. Or lease the rugged 2025 Mazda CX-50, now only $239 per month for 33 months. There's more to move you at Open Road Mazda of Morristown and Open Road Mazda of East Brunswick. Click, shop, we deliver. OpenRoadMazda.com. Must finance through Mazda Financial Services. See dealer for complete details.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT Town back on the Fan. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Back to the calls here in just a sec. You want to get into the Bridges stuff here, BT? Like, it's a big deal. The extension, obviously, I don't love Bridges. At least I didn't love it in year one. I like the idea that he didn't take the max contract, I guess, but I still need to see a lot more. The hope would be that Brown unlocks Bridges and you find a new offensive player, blah, 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 blah. I'm not necessarily a buyer in that and committing that type of money to him. As long as you think the contract is tradable, which I guess it could be, then I'd be okay with it. But, I mean, 4 years, $150 million for Bridges, that to me is I didn't think he was worth that based off of last year.
Yeah, you and I kind of feel the same way about him. And you mentioned Brown, so I'm very curious how Brown deploys him. I think it's just going to be better offensively. I think you'll see more synergy with Cat and Brunson. And I think you'll have more defined roles. I think it's going. That's why I was so intrigued by the hire, and I like it. And I'm always going to respect Tom Thibodeau. He's a Knick forever, but I was just ready to move on. And I don't think that he used Bridges perfectly. Too many times you're watching the Knicks, and it's like, you know, Brunson and Jalen's the man, but dribble, pound, 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 and then Jalen goes save us with hero ball and drop 40. And you got two really good wings who are different players, a little redundancy, but different in their offensive skill sets in OG and Bridges, sitting in the corner. I mean, waiting to catch a pass with 3 seconds and let it go. I think you're going to see a heightened version of Bridges. I do. Now, listen, I know Brunson made a massive financial concession for the Knicks there, and that's why we love him. One of the reasons. Bridges left a few bucks on the table, and you got to respect it because it was now.
It's the least he could do. I mean, it's either that or hit a big shot, for God's sake. I mean, or have a consistent offense. Like, I know that he had an okay postseason as far as having some impact moments, but come on, he had a disappointing year.
Oh, he did. No, I'm not a huge Bridges fan. I'm intrigued by the way he's going to look this year, and if it doesn't look different, well, then that's another conversation. But he left some money on the table. Not that it's going to really enable the Knicks to do a ton with player stuff like Brunson's contract will and does, but it's more about like second apron stuff, and I don't care about that. Gordon's printing money, so that good for them, fantastic.
And by the way, I'm sorry, were you going to finish that?
No, I was good with that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as far as the pieces, the one more roster spot, either your boy Shamet or Ben Simmons, it seems like, dude, I want no part of Ben Simmons. I want no part of Ben Simmons here. Shamet, whatever, it's fine. And I know it's like irrelevant, but that was one tagline that I read yesterday. I don't know if it was from the Post or wherever I read it about Bridges. Yeah. I want no, like Ben Simmons' name keeps coming up. I want no part of Ben Simmons.
We really disagree on this. Now, I am getting complete separation from where he was drafted and the inability to shoot free throws and the complete reluctance to let a three go to keep defenses honest, that's obviously an issue. Now, if he comes here, and I actually want him, like if he comes here, and even though I'm a Shamet guy, but if he comes here, he's going to be used in a way that, number one, is going to make Jalen Brunson's life so much easier. He's going to bring the ball up. He's tall, so he can see over everybody. He's got great vision. And the other thing it does...
From the bench?
Well, no.
He doesn't play.
No, I know.
He's always hurt. He's always about the fashion. Well, he's a losing player who does not prioritize basketball. It's the antithesis of what a New York Knicks should be. I want no part of him. Dude.
Okay. But the part that I want of, at least I'm intrigued with, is... He's going to play, if he comes here, 15 to 18 minutes a night. He's going to have a second unit along with Deuce and some others that are getting up and down the court, so it's a faster look. And the other thing he could do, now I don't know if he's going to be on the court crunch time, I doubt it, but if he is in some of these pivotal, usually NBA games are defined like in the middle part of the third quarter and then the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. Forget about the first half. And if he's out there in the third quarter spurt, now all of a sudden, guess what? Yeah, he's going to take the ball up a little bit, which can allow Jalen to play off the ball, which I think is a great thing. But the other thing is going to do, we can mock the way he dresses and his back issue and all the other things he comes with. He is a good defender, and Brunson is not.
Right, but BT, I agree with the skill set. Like, in theory, everything you're saying makes sense. In reality, Ben Simmons doesn't care about playing basketball. Ben Simmons is always hurt. There's in theory, yeah. How many other teams has he been on before that said the same thing you're saying? Now, I know he's going to be asked a lesser role here with the Knicks, but still, even with that, I love the defensive skill set. I love alleviating some pressure from Brunson or playing off the ball, having Simmons be a point guard. That's great in theory. In reality, he has been as soft a player as the league has ever seen, as disappointing a player as the league has ever seen, and has clearly not prioritized being a basketball player.
I hear you, man. I do. I listen.
I know.
I love pushing back when we can. It's good, and when it's authentic, which it always is with us, it's good. It's good radio. I mean, I can't disagree with that last assertion. But again, in the modified role, and last year for the Clippers, he only played 16, 17 minutes a game. What I like about him is that now he's not efficient from three, but the Knicks have enough shooters. He's horrible from the line. Get it. But the guy hits for his career, Sal. 56% of the shots. Now, they're all at the rim.
Right, but fine. That's okay.
It's fantastic. And when you're 6'10" and you got Cat, just think about this. Let's say he plays, not fourth quarter, crunch time, but let's say he's on the court for a couple of minutes with Cat and with Jalen and with one of the wings and somebody else, right? And Cat is 25 feet away from the rim, and Brunson's playing off the ball, and Bridges or OG are threats to shoot, which they both are. Well, the entire middle is open,
right?
And that's where that's where he makes his money.
I know
man.
You're talking about the skill set.
He abuses people getting to the rim.
I'm surprised that you would be a fan of this player when you specifically value everything else, where you say you can't stand players. It's like your biggest thing. Can't stand players in any sport that don't maximize their God-given ability. And he is example one of what not to do. That's why I'm surprised that we are in unison here. I'm not knocking what he theoretically should bring to the floor. I understand that. But in reality, where you take the opposite, let's say a player like Josh Hart that maybe is not the, greatest athletic specimen, whatever. I know he's a good athlete, but he maximizes it. You know what I'm saying? Max effort.
Yep.
He gets the very most out of what his body allows. Certainly Stark's my favorite. He did that. Those are the prime examples of guys who maximize their God-given abilities and go even beyond that. Ben Simmons is the opposite. Isn't that something that's like your biggest issue?
It's one of them. And listen, that's a commonality that you and I always subscribe to. Like, we kind of love the same kind of players. Now, we root for different teams. We have different views on what happens and what players are and what they could be. But, that's always been non-negotiable for me. If you're not a diligent pro, I got no time for you. And listen, I don't want to get too basketball weedsy. It's August 1st. But one thing I will say, one of the problems with the Knicks last year, and there were a couple, even though they had a great year or a really, really good year, is that too often their starting backcourt was small. And when you have Hart and you have Jalen Brunson, and Hart doesn't shoot and he can't shoot, and Brunson's small and is an awful defender, like there's nobody that's going to convince me that 7 minutes each half that Ben Simmons isn't bringing some things to the table that every good basketball team has.
Dave is in Somerset. What's up, Dave?
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I finally agree with Sal and disagree with Brandon.
Yeah, I hear you.
You've come to the right side. Welcome.
Brandon, are you drinking again?
No, not yet.
If you think Ben Simmons is going to do anything for the Knicks, the Knicks is a high-profile stage.
Yep.
The Nets are second-rate. Ben Simmons could barely play with a team on a second-rate team, and you're going to put him in the bright spotlight at MSG and think he's going to play any kind of decent minutes? You're high again, dude.
Well, hold on. What do you mean high again?
Yeah, I don't
am I
understand.
drunk?
Is it drinking again or high again? What's going on here, BT?
Jeez, I mean, I'm getting a little bit of a bad rap here. I like to have some fun here, but I'm not drunk and high. I try to separate the two. Listen, I would say, did you watch him with the Clippers? That's why I said you have to, and it's hard. You've got to detach yourself from draft status, big contract, and underachievement his first couple of years. Now, if you can do that, and you still say I don't like it for the Knicks, that's fine. You're not bringing in Magic Johnson, understood. But then I would say, what's the better option on a veteran mid-level contract? He's going to make $3 million.
Yeah, no, I get that. I just don't want that type of player anywhere near my team. Skill set, I prefer him over Shamet, no question about it. And I think everything you're saying makes sense. You're not taking a lot of money on him, not taking a high pick, all that stuff. I think Ben Simmons is a losing player. Now, I know if I said he's a loser, that would get more play. I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah.
So I'm going to specify it. He is a losing player that doesn't prioritize basketball, and I wouldn't want him anywhere near the Knicks, their bench, the arena. He belongs at Barclays with the Nets or somewhere else. Or the Sixers. I want no part of Ben Simmons.
Okay, so think about, here's the word, and we use this with the Jets a lot, and we've used it with the Giants recently, culture. All right? Don't you believe in enough of the Knicks culture that he would snap into line?
No, I
do.
I just don't think he's got it, especially without Tom Thibodeau. No, I don't know what their culture is going to be with Mike Brown, and we'll find that out. All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. We'll finish up on the phones when we come back, 888-808-1019. Surfside iced tea and vodka. It's made with real premium stateside vodka, real brew tea. I was just talking to Ray Martell about Surfside outside. He's like, oh, because you saw my sweatshirt, I got the hoodie on today.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, Surfside. I'm like, dude, when the Mets win the division, we're going to be having a pallet delivered here to the station. Ray's like, oh, can I get a six-pack? A six-pack? You take a couple cases home.
Six-pack? What a lightweight, dude.
Come on, Ray. Take 6 cases home from Clem once he drops that pallet off after the Mets beat the Phils. All the flavors are good. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, no carbonation. If you've tried the product, you know you can barely tell there's any alcohol in it. It's so good. It's dangerous. Great for the golf course, tailgating, by the beach or by the pool. That's my personal favorite, out by the pool all summer long, or even just drinking at a sports bar or nightclub. Look for the can with the sunset stripe, sunshine in a can, Surfside iced tea, and vodka.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
We just say it like it's actually the truth. Oh, this team's not good enough to win a championship. They got to do this, that, and the other. They're not good enough to win a championship. When the bottom line is they're absolutely good enough to win a championship if the players play well enough. That's the bottom line.
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Sometimes it takes time to adjust to a new development in sports, but the NFL unveiled a change last night that will be an instant hit. During the Hall of Fame preseason game, they used the Hawkeye system to figure out if teams got a first down. Say goodbye to the chain gang. The animation looks exactly like tennis's line system. It was super smooth during the Lions-Chargers. No need to worry at all. We aren't even going to remember life before the virtual first down line. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late for kickoff. We should be at the game by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I've got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple of towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We missed tailgating because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas. Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the whole first quarter.
Football fans, download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SEASON25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SEASON25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SEASON25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code SEASON25.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel? You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Injured in an accident? You need help. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Lawyers that have built a legacy of victory over 5 decades, winning billions for their clients. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Call 1-800-624-8888 or visit injurylawyer.com.
Oh, hey. Hey, thanks for meeting me here. It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there? That's all I paid for it.
Let me get back to you on that. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. And check out our other great deals at your Hyundai dealer today. Offer ends September 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
The U.S. Open Tennis Championships kick off with Fan Week, week 1 of the 3-week tennis spectacular, and admission is completely free. Catch the world's best tennis players up close as they prepare for the championships. The grounds will be buzzing all week long with live DJ sets, special guests, giveaways, and more. U.S. Open Fan Week, August 18th through August 23rd. Be part of the action. Visit usopen.org/fanweek for more info.
Sal Licata here, and wow, are we thrilled with the incredible job CertaPro Painters did on our house. So clean, so efficient, they actually listened to us and even satisfied my wife, which, as you know, isn't easy. If you've been putting off painting because of the economy or tariff worries, don't. Painting your house is the easiest and most efficient way to protect and raise your home's value. Do what we did. Call CertaPro Painters today.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
We're always talking New York sports on The Fan.
If you're thinking about popping the question, don't overthink it. Go where generations of New Yorkers have gone. HL Gross Jewelers in Garden City. These guys have been in the diamond game for over 100 years. 5 generations of helping people find the perfect engagement ring. No pressure, no games, just the best prices, real education, and one-on-one honest service you want when you're making a big decision. Don't make the ring buying experience stressful and trust HL Gross in Garden City. Visit online at hlgross.com.
The times you spend with your friends and loved ones are the best. Those selfies you take now will shape memories that will last a lifetime. Make sure you stay in the picture and stay away from fentanyl. Only 2 milligrams of fentanyl can cause an overdose. So learn about the dangers and risks of this frightening, deadly drug at stayinthepic.nj.gov. Don't risk your life and all those wonderful memories you're creating. Stay in the picture and stay away from fentanyl. Know all the risks. Visit stayinthepic.nj.gov.
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's stepping into a world that's exciting.
with a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Call of the day with Brendan Tierney and Sal Licata on The Fan.
Dylan is calling from Long Island. What's up, Dylan?
Hey, BT and Sal. Today was made for you guys, man. This is great stuff so far.
Nice.
Out of all the prospects in New York, right, is there any bigger fail than Francisco Alvarez if we want to talk about failures in New York? His 220 career average, he was a number one prospect in all of baseball. Is there anybody that's a bigger fail than him? And I don't care what he's done over the last 10 games.
Absolutely. Now, Francisco Alvarez has not lived up to the expectation, but absolutely there were bigger fails. You have to remember there are circumstances here. He also hit 20, he was hurt, obviously, a lot of this year. Francisco Alvarez has come nowhere to living up to the expectation, but I wouldn't say that he's the biggest failure. I think there were many more.
I think David Stearns did a great job. I think Brian Cashman did a great job. I think David Stearns addressed every need except for top-end starting pitching, which is really what the Mets needed, and it didn't move at this deadline. Charlie Morton, Merrill Kelly, those aren't top-end guys. They just aren't. Those guys are not going to change the Mets and Yankees starting pitching trajectory of the season. They're just not. Especially with Louis Seal coming back for the Yankees and for the Mets. Is Merrill Kelly and Charlie Morton really going to change anything for their rotation? I don't think it is.
No, and Merrill Kelly, thank you for the call, Dylan. Merrill Kelly, I was told, did not like New York. I think Ottavino even said that on the air, that Merrill Kelly did not like New York last night.
Oh, good. We don't want him then. He doesn't have the chops to do. You don't want to come. We can't roll the dice on if you got big enough stones to handle New York, you know?
That's exactly what I said. No, it wouldn't have been a difference maker. And by the way, for the record, both teams did a good job. I don't think, but Dylan says, oh, yeah, they both did great, but they could have used another starter. Okay, if you thought that the Mets needed a top starter, then you shouldn't be satisfied with what they did. They have a BT call of the day, bit of fun show. We went after it pretty good early on for the first hour and a half or so. Check it out on the free Odyssey app. And just really was more about prospects, I guess. And bottom line, now that we can put that stuff to bed, it's going to be about the guys that are here performing. And the Yankees have 3 of those guys. Now, maybe they could rely less, let's say, on Dominguez with the addition of Slater or whatever, if they want to use him in the outfield from the right end, whatever it may be. To some extent, at the very least, Volpe, Wells, Dominguez are going to be relied on, and the Mets are going to have to rely on Alvarez, Mauricio, Beatty, Vientos to a certain extent. Those guys got to get the job done now at the big league level to help these teams go win a World Series.
No question, but even if those guys do get the job done, if Judge is not healthy, if Lindor and Alonso don't wake up, if Soto's shin lingers, that's what's going to really determine. So what happens this year, I think that the moves that both teams made, just reinforces, I think, for most of us that, and certainly I was not here with the Yankees a couple of days ago, certainly a couple of weeks ago as well. But now the Yankees, to me, have a runway, like a launching pad to get right and to preserve leads and to do some things they just simply couldn't do for the last month and a half or so. And same with the Mets. I mean, the biggest issue, and they're not perfect teams. They're both good, and they both could be really good. And when you're really good in this crazy new age of baseball, you got a chance to get to the World Series. And if you get there, you got a chance to win it.
Mark is in Garden City. What's up, Mark?
I really, really enjoy the show. I don't get a chance to call often. I wanted to provide a little insight, hopefully, on the Stephen Kwan discussions you've been having. Cleveland is really a mess now. I've been practicing regulatory law for 37 years, and I will tell you, with these first-pitch gambling allegations against Clase and Garcia, and they're pretty evident, he may bring a lot of baggage. They're now investigating hitters on Cleveland that swung at balls in the dirt for first-pitch strikes. So you have the same apps in Ohio that you have here in New York.
Yeah.
And I could tell you just from calls we've been getting in our firm, which is nationwide, that there's a lot of bad stuff there. So Stephen Kwan swings at a pitch in the dirt, and people are going to say, "Oh my God, did DraftKings take a lot of action on a first pitch strike?"
The only problem is, though, Mark,
there was just more to it.
We appreciate the info. Maybe there is. I don't know. The only thing is Stephen Kwan doesn't swing many pitches in the dirt. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I loved him for the Yankees. I don't know what the ins and outs are of what's going on there. Obviously, we know about Clase and the other reliever. I can't even say like I doubt it from Stephen Kwan, but you get the point, BT. If that's a factor, then yeah, obviously, no pun intended, all bets are off. But I'm gonna not assume Stephen Kwan was gambling here with the
that he's not embroiled in some deeply rooted gambling scheme. And this is a bigger issue, not even certainly for today. We don't have enough time. Plus, there's other stuff going on, but. Don't you find it a little interesting, like how quickly Class A was bumped and they made their decisions with the Guardians, but Ohtani, and I know Ohtani's role may have been different, but Ohtani, nothing.
The old cover-up?
I'm not saying that it is, but
there was definitely more. There's definitely, come on, we all assume there was definitely more there as it pertained to Ohtani. It's one thing to penalize Class A. You go after Ohtani, the sport be in big-time trouble. All right, bro, good show. Enjoy the weekend. You're off all next week?
I am. Little boys golfing trip.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Be good on the Little League field, will you? I don't want to hear any posts.
I'm just watching this weekend. I'll be in the outfield, far away from the umps.
All right, bro. Enjoy the week off. We'll see you when we get back. Thanks to Dove. Thanks to Hoff as well. Thanks, everybody listening to Cold. We appreciate each and every one of you. Back Monday, 10 a.m. Enjoy your weekend. See you at SummerSlam.
The Yankees meet up with the Marlins.